basketball along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
Play in motion to Love. Out to Larson, 5 seconds. Larson driving right to Boswell for the win. No good. And we're going to overtime.
Yeah, give Utah credit. The 1-3-1 was effective there. Arizona got a look, but I think they were hoping for a better one.
Madsen way off him. They put the play in motion. Love to inbound it. Fired into Ballo. Back to Love. 4 seconds across midcourt. Love drives. Shot is up short. We're going to double overtime.
Yeah, Love thought there was a little contact there on the drive with the left hand, but like I say, on the road, 5 seconds, you can't look for help there. A call like that, we're going to double OT.
5 seconds. Love a long ways from the bucket. A long three is off, no good. Rebound, Keita. We're going to a third overtime.
Yeah, you would like to get a better shot than a 28-footer from the top of the key. It is what it is. Third overtime. Got to gather, take a breath, get some water, and get ready to go.
13 seconds left. Inbounds to Pella, and the Utes are not going to foul. And that's going to be it. The Wildcats, 3 overtimes to get it done. They start out the road trip. A huge win here at the Huntsman Center. Wildcats 105. Utes 99 the final.
Make no mistake, a huge road win. I mean, and we've been talking about it all this calendar year since the turn of the conference schedule. I read the stat yesterday. We've read a couple of stats, in fact, how winning on the road for top 10 teams is down almost 50% this year across college basketball. Adia Barnes talked about it as it relates to the Pac-12, winning on the road in the Pac-12 on the women's side. It's like, she says, like 17 road wins to 40-something road losses for teams this year. Incredibly, incredibly difficult to win on the road. The Wildcats have now gone into 2 venues where the home team had not lost this season and handed those teams defeats. First, the Oregon Ducks in Eugene. Now the Utah Utes in Salt Lake City. They'll have a chance to do it for a third time on Saturday when they travel to Boulder, Colorado to take on the Colorado Buffaloes. Will it be a trifecta of first home venue defeats of the season for the Wildcats as a road team? So a big win, 105-99, Arizona, triple overtime. That still does not change the fact that I have no idea. I have no idea what the Wildcats are trying to do when they have a chance to win a game late. I have none. I can't. I'm not a basketball coach. I watch basketball. It's not my top sport in terms of understanding. I'm much more of a football and a baseball guy. And so but I can only go by what I see. And what I see is not a lot of organization in these last second shot scenarios. And that's what I want to know from you. What are you seeing? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? If you're watching on one of our many video devices, I'm doing the whole 2 fingers to the eye, pointing at me, pointing at you. Are you seeing what I'm seeing offensively from this team in last second shot scenarios? We've seen it in multiple games now that have gone to overtime. Florida Atlantic comes to mind. What was that, a double overtime game, I believe? Double overtime earlier this year. I'm just not sure what we're trying to do. If there's plays being run, if we're just cutting and giving it to our best person and trying to see what they can get off of a few cuts. If that's what a play is now. I asked last night. In fact, let's go back to last night. Let's go back to the original rant from last night's show that brought us to what I'm going to preview today as our question of the day. I just don't understand. The Wildcats won this game. They won this game. But I just don't understand what we're doing in these last-second shot sequences. Apparently, there's no such thing as running a play anymore. It's just like, let's give it to our best guy and let him figure it out on his own. I don't get it. I don't get what's happening there. Can we not run a play? Please, run a play. Script something. Give me something other than Caleb Love or Kylan Boswell trying to create something on their own. I don't get it. Somebody explain that to me. I want a basketball coach to call this program and explain that to me. Explain to me why we don't run plays anymore at the end of games. Because I don't get it. That was the rant last night after the ball game. So if you're a basketball coach, I still want to hear from somebody that knows a lot more basketball than me about what we're doing at the end of these games. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. I'll read you the question of the day. We've already gotten a ton of responses just on this subject, and I'll read what we're hearing from you on this. But that is our question of the day. Are you satisfied with the Arizona Wildcats' offensive philosophy in last shot situations? It's a simple yes or no question. Are you satisfied? I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied with what I'm seeing in these last shot situations when the game is on the line. J-Dub, are you satisfied with what this team's offensive philosophy is when they've got the ball and a chance to win a game with the clock ticking down?
I mean, I think the obvious answer is no. And what I will say is this. What we said last night on the postgame is I think the philosophy from a road perspective versus a home perspective changes. And these let's hold the ball for 20 seconds and have somebody shoot a 35-footer. I think a lot of that has to do with the fear of trying to get in the – you would think, go downhill, get in the lane, make something happen. Give yourself a couple extra seconds for an offensive rebound putback potentially, right? We're talking about a tie game, late clock, end of regulation, end of overtime. And I think what we were seeing is a philosophy where it's, let's make sure we don't get a live ball turnover and have them go the other way and win the game at the buzzer. And I think that changes on the road or at home, but I don't think anybody can watch those. I think Boswell's okay. I think they only had 4 seconds on that inbounds. That was the end of the first overtime. Obviously the Caleb 35-footer at the second overtime. They had a timeout. They didn't call one. Coach Lloyd said after the game, maybe he should have called the timeout. Yeah. I do have that sound if you want to hear it.
Let's hear that. Let's hear what Tommy Lloyd said.
I trust.
Yeah, he says this.
Maybe I could have called a timeout there. I regret that now, but, I trust Caleb with the ball in his hands. And, when they're in the double bonus, I just told Caleb maybe you got to be a little bit more aggressive, there. But, playing against that zone's a little funky. So, I probably should have called a timeout and probably put our guys in a little bit better position. But I also know this. Caleb's fully capable of making that shot no matter how well he's playing because he's not scared. He made, I don't know how many threes he made tonight.
Yeah, so again, I think the 35-footer, when you've run the clock for 20 seconds, is frustrating for any fan when it doesn't go in. And I think everything changes. Think about the Oregon State buzzer beater, right? That was a full court inbound and drive and fade away from the left corner. type of scenario, an action live. I feel like sometimes if you're moving forward and you get the ball moving forward because you only have, so many seconds on the clock, is a much more action-based set as opposed to if the shot clock's turned off, like in that situation with Caleb, it's all like stand around and wait. And when you get in that situation, it's really just a matter of can that dude knock that shot down or not? And if he doesn't, of course the fans are going to be frustrated. But I agree with you. I think it's frustrating for all fans, and they all should be dissatisfied if you're not getting clean, good looks at the end of shot clocks and end of regulation, end of overtimes. Just because, number one, there's so many great offensive players on this team, and their strength, as has been since Tommy Lloyd got here, is getting each other involved through actions. I mean, all of those, when they got in the middle of that 1-1-3 zone or whatever it was that they were running, Pella, with all of his assists, they did so much damage, especially in overtimes. Pella hit Ballo for that one alley-oop dunk, which is super. That was a very clean play. You'd like to see something like that at the end of regulation. I don't know, DK. I don't know what the philosophy is these days, but I feel like on the road, it's more of a, you have a tendency to not want to make a big mistake in that moment and hand the other team a win.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that part of it. I will those will have to be the questions to Tommy Lloyd next week to get a better understanding of what he and his staff are trying to do at the end of these games, and how much that, for lack of a better term, fear of potentially turning the ball over. But, when you only had 8 turnovers in the game, I think that says right there that you're doing a pretty good job of holding on to the basketball. So I don't know, but I want to know. So if you have a feeling, if you've coached basketball, let us know. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get on the program. All right, lots to get to today. It is Friday. Arizona women's basketball is playing tonight. They are on the road at UCLA. This is a very difficult road trip to Los Angeles, but the ladies will have 2 days off in between playing the Bruins tonight and then Southern California on Monday. There'll be no game on Sunday. We will carry tonight's game right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. It's a later start. 8:45 is broadcast time with Derek Palmer, obviously being out in Los Angeles. And then 9 o'clock, a little after 9 o'clock, will be tip-off. And then Monday's game, due to the Tommy Lloyd radio show, will be on KTUC 14, Freedom 1400. So we will not have Monday's game against Southern California here on Wildcats Radio 1290. We'll dive much more into that. We'll talk about our Super Bowl schedule. You'll hear from some of the Super Bowl participants, Brock Purdy, the quarterback from Gilbert Perry for the San Francisco 49ers, and a whole lot more. And in case you did not miss, or in case you didn't hear Bijan Robinson's interview on CBS Sports Network earlier today with Zach Gelb, we'll replay that for you as well in the 5 o'clock hour. We are joined by the third member of our program. Cricket is here. Cricket, did you know that today is a huge anniversary in the music industry?
Is it?
It is. You know what happened? What is it, 60 years ago today, J-Dub?
Yeah, February 9th, 1964.
Okay, I wasn't even born yet.
Well, none of us, we weren't
I
either,
don't think
but
any of us were.
the Beatles' first appearance on television.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember what the name of the show was? I'll give you a hint.
The Ed
It
Sullivan
was
Show.
there you go. See, I wanted to give my hint. It was.
Oh, sorry,
It was.
sorry.
It's a
Sorry.
really big show. We've
Really
got a
big.
really big show today for you. This predates. Yeah, we think we're old, but this predates all of us. Where are you going?
I'm leaving.
She wants a better chair.
Sit
I'm leaving.
your down.
I'm leaving.
Sit your down.
I'm kidding. Just changing chairs. You play the Beatles, I leave. I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
All right. Do you have a favorite Beatle?
No.
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 All right. I would have to say Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Just because, I kind of, growing up in the 70s, and he kind of continued, and he had Wings, and Wings did a number of songs
Yes.
that I really like. With a little luck, We can work it out. Remember that one? We can make this whole dang thing work out. So, yeah. Do you have a favorite Beatle there, J-Dub?
I mean, it's tough. I think songwriters, I think John and Paul are great songwriters. I think musicians-wise, probably George Harrison. George Harrison's just such a great musician.
What was the song? He did a song I liked, too.
He did a lot of songs. Yeah.
Back in I think he did a song in the 80s.
Got my mind set on you.
Got my mind, there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
Got my mind set on you. I got my mind set on you. Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a jam.
Way to go. Were you watching Monday Night Football? I don't know, JW. You probably would have been. I don't know if you were watching Monday Night Football the night that John Lennon was killed.
No, that was
No.
1980.
Yeah.
I was, 4 or 5.
I was watching the game that night. I remember Howard Cosell breaking in. Dramatic. We might have to play that today, too, because it's probably one of the most dramatic things you're ever going to hear on a sports broadcast.
How about the earthquake in the middle of the World Series? That was pretty good,
That
too.
was pretty dramatic. I was not watching that. I was actually in a lab at school and didn't know about any of that for like several hours. I was in a journalism lab. And I was like in a hole editing something. And I was like, whoa, I came out and everybody's talking about the earthquake in the World Series. Yeah, good stuff there. All right, so 60 years ago today on the Ed Sullivan Show, the Beatles debuted in the United States.
Yeah, it kind of changed. I mean, there's so many varying opinions about what the Beatles did for music as a whole. And I think as far as, rock and roll and then into heavy metal, it really kind of changed the landscape. My parents, obviously, most people my age as parents were big Beatles fans. So I definitely heard a lot of that growing up for sure.
Are there any Beatles tributes going on tonight around Tucson for What's Up Weekend? Do you know?
Not that I know. The
Not
last
that
one we
you know
had
of.
was at the 27th of
Oh.
January. That was the Fab Four. That sold out really
Ah.
quick. So unfortunately, I don't have any currents coming.
Okay. Well, what else is happening this weekend?
Well, tonight there's the Skate Country Roll Bounce, which is for adults only, 10:30 to 1:30.
Bounce.
Yeah, it should be fun. You've got the maybe for the kids tomorrow, the Park Place Rodeo Day from 3 to 5 tomorrow, like stick horse racing and country themed like entertainment.
Wait,
Some
stick horse racing, is that like where you have the horse on a stick and you kind of
yeah.
That's
hop
the
around?
one, yeah.
I think they're getting ready for the rodeo coming.
Okay,
So it might be fun for the kids,
Yeah.
like the big game at your
So when the Beatles debuted on television, that's what the kids were doing was
they
stick
were
horse
stick
racing.
horse racing. So maybe that is kind of like a Beatles
Okay,
flashback,
all
maybe
right.
a little bit. Second Saturday's downtown tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
This sounds really cool to me. I don't know. William H. Macy is going to be at the Rialto Theater tomorrow night for a screening of Fargo.
Nice.
Wow.
You know who he is, right?
Yes.
Of course,
He's
yeah.
Jerry, and he also played-
Shameless.
Yeah, it's Frank from Shameless.
Did you watch Shameless?
Yes, I did.
That was a great show.
That was a messed up family.
It was a messed up
family. So if you want
Messed up
tickets,
Chicago
yeah,
kids.
exactly. Those kids, that whole family. If you want tickets for that William H. Macy screening of Fargo tomorrow night, RialtoTheater.com.
All right. Well, Cricket will be back a little bit later with some more updates about what's happening throughout the weekend here in Southern Arizona. Gem Show weekend as well out at the Convention Center. But first, getting you home with your traffic and your weather.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together with collisions reported at Pima and Swan. Also a crash at Valencia and Cardinal, and some busy traffic on the westbound side of I-10 as you approach Alvernon. 40, the overnight low tonight. Rain starting around 4 a.m., which will continue through the day tomorrow. The high tomorrow, only 42. 55 now. It's going to be cold tomorrow. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com. Introducing Chumba Casino, the thrilling online social casino that's free to play. Head on over to ChumbaCasino.com now to join in on the fun. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Now, is that league where they got the keg at second base and you got to chug a beer before you get to third? Is that how that works?
J-Dub, that would have been a better league for me.
Oh, okay.
Don't miss out on all the fun.
Football and Miller Lite, America's greatest pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Knocking on bar tops for luck. Kicking back on any given Sunday. You never forget the way some things taste. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Go Wildcats! As a new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure that you'll get your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
And Jackson Hewitt also guarantees the accuracy of your return for life. So don't just sit there. For your biggest refund guaranteed, walk into a Jackson Hewitt today and dance out Jackson Hewitt!
Our free 2024 Gold Investment Guide isn't just a collection of tips. It's a treasure map to possible wealth in a shifting economy. We've distilled expertise and insights into this comprehensive guide, tailored for both newcomers and veteran investors. Ride the wave of gold to unprecedented heights. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000 for your free guide. Call 800-900-8000 now.
The American Red Cross is facing an emergency blood shortage as the nation's blood supply has dropped to critically low levels. Blood and platelet donations are needed now for people counting on life-saving care after accidents, surgeries, and those facing critical treatments for cancer and sickle cell disease. You can take action today. Make an appointment to give blood. To book a time, use the Red Cross Blood Donor app. Visit redcrossblood.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule your appointment.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower for steamy Vicks Vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower use for adults only.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join our growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Listen to the home of the Wildcats wherever you are on your iPhone and iPad by downloading our new app in the App Store so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
He's kind and he's funny and he's also mustachioed. He solves all your problems by the end of every episode. TV Dad. Everyone loves TV Dad. Never hollers, and he tells you how Progressive can save you lots of dollars.
Listen to your TV Dad. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Today on Hey Culligan's Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener, here's Kevin.
Hey Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yup, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale is on, with limited quantity deals on top tech.
Save on select PCs powered by the latest 12th gen Intel Core processors like thin and light XPS 13 laptops, Inspiron laptops, and 2-in-1s. Plus, get savings on select accessories, free shipping, and monthly payment options with Dell Preferred Account. Save today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Today on Hey Culligan Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener, here's Kevin.
Hey, Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text the show at that number. You can interact with us on any of the platforms for which this show is streamed. We are streaming audio at wildcatsradio1290.com. You can also stream this show, both audio and video, on our app, Wildcats Radio 1290. The app, make sure you download that app and, in fact, text app to 520-848-1290, and we will make sure that we get you the link so you can download that app. All right, our question of the day, we'll go back to this again, and it goes back to what I was a little bit perturbed with last night. Now, are you satisfied with the Arizona Wildcats' offensive philosophy in last shot situations? Head on over to our Twitter account, at Wildcats1290 right now, and you can vote in this poll. It's either yes, you're satisfied, no, you're not satisfied. Right now, 66% of the people voting saying no, we are not satisfied with Arizona's offensive philosophy in last shot situations. I'm going to read you some of the comments. Brad Hawk checks in. Coach B. Hawk, what philosophy? Run around like a chicken with your head cut off and close your eyes before turning around backwards to shoot? It's unbelievable not to have a play drawn up if you call a timeout. That was Brad Hawk checking in. Thomas Papasil says, you've got the double bonus, drive the ball, and score or get fouled. In any event, don't dribble for 25 seconds and launch a 28-foot shot. Even Reggie Geary thought that was probably not the best idea.
Yeah, Reggie also did say in those highlights that it's going to be difficult to get that call on the road as well, late shot clock. But I agree. I mean, I think you've got to put pressure on the officials, put pressure on the rim, get the ball moving towards the rim in either case. And as I said earlier, give yourself a couple of seconds for the potential tip-in by Ballo. No more than that, right? You don't want to see any three-quarter court shots from Utah at their own place. We've seen that a few times before, but you got to get something moving to the rim.
Danny checks in terms of the question, are you satisfied with the Arizona Wildcats offensive philosophy in last shot situations, yes or no? Danny asks, who said yes? That's from Danny. Greg Thompson, no, this is an ongoing problem. Same problem in the FAU game. Need to get this fixed. And we'll read one more here for you. This is Doug Maxwell 86. Tommy Lloyd last second shot plays. 22 seconds down to 2 seconds remaining. Very high ball screen, 25 plus feet from the basket, with guard putting up a three even when 2 points wins the game. So those are just a few people who have chimed in on this subject. I got a whole lot more. We'll get to all of them before the show is out today. 520-848-1290. If you want to chime in on that and anything else that you saw last night, great ball game. We'll get to some of the positives of the game. As my old colleague at News 4 Tucson used to say, Paul Sakala. How about 27 points from Pelle Larsson last night? Pelle Larsson has been an absolute stud on this team the last few weeks. He's probably not going to win. Well, if he puts in another game like that, he's going to have a very good shot at winning the Player of the Week award. But heck, if Umar Balo can score 40 points and grab 26 rebounds and not win Player of the Week.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Pelle Larsson, 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists.
I do have an answer to the question of who's happy.
Who's happy?
Owls fans and Cougar fans and Beaver fans. And I say that because remember the stat the other day, Arizona is winless in one-possession games this year.
Mm-hmm.
So they've blown people out, but the games that they've lost, they lost 73-70 to the Cougars, 83-80 to Oregon State, and 96-95 double overtime to FAU. So those fan bases are certainly happy with maybe not getting a great look at the rim, late shot clock, late in games.
Rich Carrillo checks in. That was a tasty rant, DK, and a totally justified rant. Good coaches call plays in crunch time. Paul Brown, John Wooden, Red Auerbach are turning over in their graves. Shaking my head, says Rich Carrillo. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Are you happy with how Arizona is approaching these last shot situations? Let's, we'll do that for sure. All right. One of the things also that we're going to get into today is the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is coming up on Sunday. We're going to have it right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Our coverage is going to begin at noon. Let me give you the whole rundown of what we've got coming up for you on Sunday. Coverage begins at noon with NFL preview. Scott Graham will have that coverage along with Russ Tucker and Kurt Warner, the Arizona Cardinal, the only quarterback who's ever taken the Arizona Cardinals to the Super Bowl. And then Super Bowl Insider airs at 1 o'clock. So you'll have an hour of preview, an hour of Super Bowl Insider. That is Scott Graham and the brothers, Jason and Devin McCourty. Super Sunday pregame begins at 2 o'clock. That also goes for an hour from 2 to 3. The game broadcast with another extended pregame begins at 3 o'clock, taking you right up to kickoff at 4:30 here on Wildcats Radio 1290. You've got Kevin Harlan on the play-by-play of this ball game. Kevin Harlan will be joined in the booth by Kurt Warner. 6th straight year that the Hall of Fame quarterback will be the lead analyst on Westwood One's coverage. You've got the rules analyst, Dean Blandino, and on the sidelines, Laura Achman and Mike Golick. So a championship crew for Championship Sunday, the Super Bowl number 58 in Las Vegas, Nevada on Sunday. Again, our coverage begins at noon. Kickoff slated for around 4:30 Tucson time, and you can hear it all right here.
I was under the impression that the pregame begins Monday the 12th because of the 365 nature of the NFL. And as soon as the Super Bowl's over, it's all about the NFL for next year.
It's all about next year.
You can't even take a breath.
No breaths. No breaths. As soon as the game is over, we start looking at the combine, which is actually only a few weeks away. It's actually weird because this year the Super Bowl is much later. It seems like it's getting later and later every year. Normally it used to be at the end of July or January, I should say. Now it's kind of second weekend of February because normally you're getting ready to go to the combine about mid-February. I always remember the combine being before, right around Valentine's Day. Now the Super Bowl is darn near backed up to Valentine's Day. Coming up a little bit later, you'll hear from Brock Purdy. We'll hear some thoughts from the Arizona native who's going to be quarterbacking the San Francisco 49ers. Also, you'll hear from Antonio Pierce, the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. How about the mayor of Las Vegas coming out the other day. And we were going to play that the other day. We didn't. I'll go back and we'll go pull that back up. How about the Las Vegas mayor saying that the A's are much better off staying in Oakland?
Yeah.
Than coming to Las Vegas.
The way I understand, that has to do with the location of building a field, right?
Well, yeah, they're going to build it right across the street from the MGM.
Right.
I would think that's multiple years of construction on one of the most popular corners on the strip.
And the mayor of Las Vegas has no control over that, right? Because that's Paradise, which is a completely different.
Does Paradise have its own mayor?
It's a municipality. I don't know the actual details behind it, but I know that area where the strip is known as Paradise, and it's different and not under the jurisdiction of Las Vegas proper. So I'm not sure exactly
That's
how
interesting.
That works.
I have no idea how the jurisdictions of Las Vegas work either. Might have to get our boy, my guy Evan Schreiber on to kind of explain that one to us. But, yeah, I just thought that was interesting. The mayor of Las Vegas said, hey, well, maybe this is not a good thing maybe it's just better if they stay there. And again, it's a very passionate fan base for the A's in Oakland. I think football is a lot different than baseball. I mean, again, I think the Raiders can be pretty much anywhere on the West Coast. You'd like them to be in one place.
They've moved like 6 times, right, in my lifetime.
Yeah, Oakland, Los Angeles, back to Oakland.
But the A's moved out there late 60s?
Late 60s, correct. Yeah, from Kansas City.
So that's like 3 generations. So obviously that's a passionate fan base.
It is. It is. I have a lot of friends from college who are Oakland A's people, and, it would be sad for that team not to be there. All right, we're going to talk to Roxy Bernstein coming up. He called the game last night on the Pac-12 Network. We will get Roxy's thoughts on all of that, everything that happened. We'll get his thoughts on what Arizona's trying to do at into these games. He's seen a lot of basketball games. I'm sure he has the pulse of what teams are trying to do at the end of the game when they're trying to win. But first, getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather, here's Cricket.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. With reported collisions, we've got Pima and Swan and Pima, also Valencia and Cardinal and Valencia. And just a reminder that Overton Road is closed east of La Cholla. Overton closed at the CDO Wash through February 19th. Traffic use McGee or Lambert Lane instead. And weather-wise, 40 the overnight low, rain starting around 4 a.m., tomorrow morning through tomorrow in the afternoon or evening. The high tomorrow, 42. 55 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Albertsons and Safeway. Albertsons and Safeway pharmacies make it easy to get your flu shot and updated COVID booster. Protect your home, office, and community. Walk-ins are welcome, or skip the line by making an appointment online. They're free with most insurance. Some restrictions apply. See pharmacy for details.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights in several varieties and sizes available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, best price, biggest inventory.
Did you hear what Coach said this week on the Tommy Lloyd radio show?
Is it the angle that the taller guys
I don't know. You're getting into some Bruce Pascoe type philosophy questions there. Umar's the player I got. He does a lot of great things. He has a lot of strengths, and he has a weakness or two, and one of them is shooting free throws. We got to help him figure that out. So
I will find a physics professor who will probably tell me I'm crazy.
The Tommy Lloyd Radio Show, Mondays at 6 o'clock. You miss a week, you miss a lot. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Arizona Complete Health means more than health insurance to me. They're my healthcare partner. We get the care we need from doctors we choose, and even earn rewards for healthy things we're already doing. And with Marketplace, Medicaid, and Medicare options, I have coverage to protect my family's health wherever life takes us.
Arizona Complete Health. A plan for life. Visit planforlifeaz.com to find coverage that works for you.
Hey,
It's Rich Eisen here. Join me and my compadre, Chris Brockman, every Monday on the Overreaction Monday podcast as we dive into the latest headlines across the NFL playoffs. Are you ready, Chris Brockman?
Just as handsome as ever, buddy.
I appreciate you saying that, and I wish I could say the same to you.
Come on.
There is a ton to overreact to, as now every other team that didn't make the playoffs, they're already looking forward to next year. Come react or overreact with us leading up to the big game. Overreaction Monday, wherever you listen.
Oh, this cold.
Honey?
Honey?
Honey, you need DayQuil Severe Honey.
DayQuil Severe Honey gives you powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste, because life doesn't stop for a cold.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Now I'm getting a cold.
Honey.
Try DayQuil Severe Honey for powerful cold and flu relief. DayQuil Severe with honey flavor. The daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Asante came to TurboTax after graduating from culinary school and landing a job in the hottest kitchen in town.
My hands are full all day, every day. I love it.
Asante, as your TurboTax expert, I'll make your moves count, guaranteeing 100% accurate filing and your maximum refund. Sound good?
Yes, expert!
Switch to Intuit TurboTax and make your moves count. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Welcome back to Love Those Savings, brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Contestant number 1, she goes by the name of Colorado. Contestant number 2, she simply goes by the name Traverse. Contestant number 3, her friends call her Blazer.
They're all so great. There's no way I could choose just one.
Check us out at O'Reilly.com. Call us at 747-8000 or love those savings in person on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Find new roads at O'Reilly Chevrolet.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
When you use your electric vehicle in autopilot or self-driving mode, accidents can still happen. Whether you're considered at fault or not, you may still have a claim. Lerner & Rowe has a dedicated team skilled in this new science. We are the first law firm in America with the ability to review the proprietary software and hold electric vehicle manufacturers responsible. If you or a loved one were injured in an electric vehicle accident, call Lerner & Rowe today.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. It's time for your Arizona Insiders.
Oh, sweet.
Each weekday, Wildcats Radio 1290 brings you all the latest news and opinions of U of A basketball. So bear down, Tucson, and let's talk Arizona basketball. Our Arizona Insiders are brought to you by Coors Light, official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. There's nothing like game day in Arizona.
All right, let's talk to the man who called this game last night on the Pac-12 network. A good friend of the program, Roxy Bernstein, joins us. And Roxy, along with Matt Muehlbach, was on the call last night as well. How fun was that?
It was awesome. It was just, David, it sucks that somebody had to lose the game last night, but it was just a high-level, phenomenal basketball game. Both teams left everything they had on the floor last night. And those are two teams that are going to be playing in March. There's no doubt in my mind that we all know how good Arizona can be, but Utah's also a tournament team. Craig Smith's done a fantastic job with that team this year. But that was just a phenomenal basketball game. And to have the drama and excitement that we did and to play 55 minutes, it was just a great night if you're a basketball fan in general to watch that game for 2.5 to 3 hours.
And Roxy, I'm gonna preface this. I am a basketball fan, and I'm glad that the Wildcats won the game as somebody that covers this program. But I'm a little frustrated. I'm a little frustrated with what the Wildcats are trying to do when they've got a chance to win games at the end. And it doesn't look and it's not maybe just the Wildcats either. I mean, we can go back to the Oregon State Arizona game where Oregon State won at the buzzer. I'm just not seeing a lot of plays run or things that look like offensive scheme at the end of these games. It's almost like these coaches are just saying, okay, we're going to maybe run a few screens and give it to our best player and let that player create something. Are we seeing less scheme at the end of these games, do you believe, as somebody who's watched a whole lot of college basketball?
I think it depends on the particular team because some teams are more set-oriented, David, than others. And for example, last night, Arizona is a team that loves to get in the flow, loves to play with that crisp quickness and have the ball moving. And I think what Utah did last night frustrated them, and it took them out of what they wanted to do in terms of we saw Utah go to that 1-3-1 zone with their length, and that seemed to really stagger or made Arizona become stagnant, right? That they didn't have the best way to attack it. There was a few times they went over the top to Umar Balo with it. But I think that 1-3-1 posed some problems for Arizona last night. And it's just around college basketball, I think. And one of the reasons I think that what you're alluding to, David, is there just isn't that continuity factor anymore.
Right.
Right? With so many new faces, new teams from year to year, and a transfer portal, it takes time. It takes time for players to get familiar and comfortable with one another. And that's why I think, for example, a team like BYU, they execute very well down the stretch, but their top 9 guys are back from last year. So these guys have been around one another for a long time. You look at Arizona, you bring in Caleb Love. All right, Kylan Boswell's in a new role. Keyshawn Johnson comes in from San Diego State. There's new pieces. And it just I don't know if it's a familiarity factor. It's a comfort level. But I think that plays in just this day and age in college basketball, where right now this is the game we're getting because of the transfer portal and because of NIL and what's been going on the last few years in the game.
Is that good or bad for the game? I mean, I think we're seeing a lot older players. You know, obviously with what happened with COVID, I think these teams across the board are a lot older, and I think that part is good for the game. But I don't know if this less scheming part of it is good overall for the game.
Yeah, I don't know if it is either. But I think we're also seeing coaches let guys play, right? When for example, when it's man-to-man, that they have an idea, they're used to it. Or it's a conventional zone. They have an idea how to attack it. Just going on specific last night, you don't see a 1-3-1 zone very much. We saw Oregon State throw it at Arizona, and they played that. Wayne Tinkle thrown that wrinkle in there over the years. But you don't see it very often. And I don't know how prepared Arizona was.
Assist numbers, big rebound numbers for him. Just one of the things I think, and I wouldn't necessarily mind, you know, we've seen in some of these last shot scenarios, we've seen it be Caleb Love and Kylan Boswell a number of times. I really wouldn't necessarily mind the ball being in Pella's hands, because Pella right now is one of the best players on this team in taking the ball to the basket, drawing contact. I love the way he hangs. He hangs into the defender, but still gets up a clean shot at the basket.
Yeah, and it almost, at times, David, appeared he was reluctant last night to really be that aggressive in hunting for his shot. And look, he only took 11 shots on the floor. Let me take that back. I was looking at the wrong box score here. But it just seemed like he was, at times, willing to pass it. He was 10 for 17 from the floor last night, playing, 48, 49 minutes. There are times I'd like to see him be more aggressive. I'm with you. But he's just such a team player, right? He had 8 assists. And Love appears to be the guy. When they need a big basket, that's where Tommy Lloyd wants to go. And he didn't have necessarily a great night until the third overtime, and he hit that huge three that really, I think, sparked Arizona to pull away and win it. But Larson is such a good complementary player because of all the things that he does. Certainly brings that toughness with him. There's a lot of things he does extremely well. Would I like to see him be more aggressive maybe in hunting for a shot? But I just don't know if that's in him. I don't know if that's his kind of a game where he's more in the team concept and more team-oriented maybe than some other guys are.
What, in your mind, we've been talking a lot about Washington State, obviously, since they beat the Wildcats here. And just, really right now, probably the hottest team in the Pac-12 conference. What's special about what's going on up there in Pullman right now with that club?
Well, it's funny because there's a lot of turnover with that team too.
Yeah.
Mohamed Gay leaves and goes to the NBA draft, and players transfer looking for potentially a better opportunity. And they're doing it different this year for Kyle Smith than they have in the past, David. Normally, Kyle Smith's from that Randy Bennett school in terms of the way they do things. He's a very analytics-driven coach. They tend to shoot a lot of threes, but not this year. This year, they're one of the lowest made threes per game stat teams in the Pac-12. They're willing to pound it inside and go and really attack the basket. They put you in a lot of pick and roll, but it's just different from the way Kyle Smith teams have played in the past. And he's found diamonds in the rough, right? Jalen Wells was from Division II Sonoma State in the Bay Area. You plug a guy in like Oscar Clough, who's been given some good physical minutes. Isaac Jones transferred from right down the road at Idaho, and he's turned into a double-double machine. And the great story that Miles Rice is overcoming cancer and being one of the top, if not the best freshmen in the Pac-12. And it's a tribute to Kyle Smith. I had breakfast with him back in November. I was up there for a football game, and he didn't leave me with the most confident impression on his team. Like he, at the time, I don't think he knew exactly how the pieces were going to fit, but he's quickly figured it out. And that is a good basketball team that plays good team ball together.
Do you have a vote for Pac-12 Player of the Year?
We don't have a vote for Player of the Year. We vote for the weekly award,
Okay.
Player of the Week, and the Freshman of the Week. But when it comes to Player of the Year
That's
and all
the
the
coaches?
postseason awards, that's all the coaches.
Yeah. In your mind, Caleb Love or KJ Simpson?
Boy. It's funny. I'm waiting for somebody to assert themselves. And we're going to see it here over the next few weeks. You have to always give the edge to a guy that's on the first place team.
Yeah.
Right? And that just seems to be the trend over the years in terms of where people will go with that vote. Love is certainly right in that conversation. And KJ Simpson's had a brilliant season. I look around, if Cal was better, I think a guy like Jalen Tyson could be in the mix. Same with Keon Brooks at Washington. And the same for Jordan Pope with the season that he's had. This is an award that's really wide open. And what's crazy about the Pac-12 this year, so we've had 13 full weeks of basketball play now. We've had 12 different winners of Pac-12 Player of the Week.
Exactly.
And Brandon Carlson from Utah is the only two-time winner this year.
Yeah, it's not like the women's side where it seems to be all Juju Watkins or somebody like
all
that.
All Juju all the time, right?
All Juju all the time. It's going to be, when you talk about that player of the year, though, I think, and it's a stat that we've kind of been talking about a lot really all season. And that's just, a high percentage shooting from both the field and the three and as well from the line. And that just seems to be KJ Simpson from that standpoint. A guy that's filling it up like that. What I think it's like now, he's 49, 45, and 90. And we've kind of been talking about the 50, 50, 90 kind of players. You don't see a lot of those players. That's pretty impressive. I think what I heard, it's only been done maybe like one other time in Pac-12 conference play for an entire season. It would be hard to vote against something like that if he continues to be in that 45, 45, 90 category shooting.
That really is incredible when you think about it. To have that consistency on a nightly basis. To be able to put up numbers like that, where he and Brandon Angel right now are threatening to join that 50, 40, 90 club.
Yeah.
And, Matt Muehlbach and I talked about it. Salim Stoudemire is the only one that they put out there that potentially did it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying, it's funny because I would have thought Steve Kerr was close to it. But I looked at Kerr's numbers, and I'm not sure. It's funny because it's the foul shooting that kept Steve from doing it. His last year at Arizona, Kerr was, I think, 56% from the floor, if I'm not mistaken. He was even better from three that year. Steve Kerr shot his threes his senior year at 57%. But he was an 82% foul shooter. That's what kept him out of the 50, 40, 90 club
for
that year. But it's crazy that in all these years. I know it's difficult to do, but it really hasn't been done. And here are two guys that are threatening to do it. And KJ Simpson's a guy that you think, okay, does so many things well. Not many people would have thought Brandon Angel from Stanford would be on that list.
Yeah. What game do you have tomorrow? You have a game?
I'm still in Salt Lake. I've got the Sun Devils against Utah. So I'm anxious to see, David, how Utah bounces back.
Yeah.
Right? From that, you pour your heart and soul into 55 minutes of basketball and you have heartbreak. To turn around 48 hours later and try to get after it again. I'm just, from an emotional standpoint, they're mentally drained, they're physically drained. I want to see where Utah's at for this game. And they're getting a team that's really struggling.
Yeah.
Arizona State, they showed some flashes early, how well Frankie Collins was playing early in the year, and they jumped out to a 2-0 start in league. And they had those two big comebacks in the Bay Area where they were down double digits at both Cal and Stanford and then responded to come home with wins. But it seemed to unravel here the last, 3-4 weeks, ever since they let that UCLA game slip away.
Right.
When they handed it over, they self-destructed in that game against UCLA with all those technical fouls. Sean Phillips got ejected in that game. And ever since that 15-point lead they blew against UCLA, they've been in a spiral other than the win against USC. But going on the road, getting beat thoroughly by Oregon and Oregon State, losing both games at home to the Bay Schools, then losing at Colorado last night, I'm anxious to see how they respond also, considering the tailspin that Arizona State's been in recent weeks.
Roxy, we always appreciate you and your knowledge, and we appreciate the time that you give us. Have a great call on Saturday, and we'll talk to you again before the season's out.
You got it, David. Appreciate it. Anytime.
Roxy Bernstein from the Pac-12 Network called that game last night, 105-99 in triple overtime. 8th-ranked Arizona beats the Utah Utes. Cricket telling you how to get home safely on this Friday afternoon to have fun on Super Bowl weekend.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it is Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions reported Speedway west of Alvernon, Grant Road in Alvernon, and a crash Pima and Swan. Earlier collision at Valencia and Cardinal off on the side of the road, not blocking travel. Some slowing on westbound I-10 as you approach Ruthroff. A 40, the overnight low. Rain starting around 4 a.m. overnight this morning through tomorrow. The high tomorrow only 42 and 55 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Dive into hibernation mode with a huge deal on deeper sleep during Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Shop now and save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable mattress sets and receive a $300 instant gift for pillows and more. Plus, get free and fast delivery to your door. Restrictions apply.
The Wildcats play here. This is your home of Arizona Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball. This is the home of the Wildcats. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
At Blue Moon, we craft our beer with Valencia orange peel and coriander for a brighter flavor that's one of a kind every time. So we decided to craft a one-of-a-kind radio ad using just those ingredients. Orange peel, coriander, 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 orange peel, orange peel, orange peel, orange peel, orange peel. Okay, you know what? Maybe we should just stick to crafting one-of-a-kind beers. Blue Moon, one of a kind, every time. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Co., Golden, Colorado.
Remember to tune in to Wildcats Radio 1290 for the biggest pregame show in the Pac-12. Because that's how we roll. We go on the air 4 hours before every football and men's basketball game all season long. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our beautiful Arizona winter weather brings cooler overnight temperatures, which means some of you are now seeing your vehicle's low-pressure warning light. Colder overnight temperatures can lower your tire's pressure just enough to trigger a warning light. But don't worry.
Our fans are amazing tonight, and I just want to thank all of them for coming out. Forgot to mention that earlier, but it just shows that this program has what it it has what it has. I mean, has what it takes. Yeah. Sorry, very tired. It has what it takes, to really do what we need to do to, have success in going into March.
You want to protect her. You'll give anything to make sure nothing harms her. Every minute together makes unforgettable memories. Except that time you parked her under that tree and...
Oh, come on, man. Really?
Sorry, we'll never speak of it again. But remember who came to her rescue? Recon Auto Detailing. Arizona's premier auto detailing company comes directly to you. We'll make your masterpiece shine like it should, and with a monthly maintenance package, we'll keep it that way. Recon Auto Detailing. Online at recondetail.com.
At Standard Restaurant Supply, their vision and #1 goal is to improve the lives of their customers and clients by providing a better culinary experience. Standard Restaurant Supply, if it's in a restaurant and not food, they have it. Open to the public, no membership fees, and they offer bulk store pricing without the bulk store purchase. Open Monday through Saturday at 601 South Cherry Avenue or call 885-2345. Standard Restaurant Supply is a proud sponsor of the U of A Radio Sports broadcast.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white-on-black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket, getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Our fans are amazing tonight, and I just want to thank all of them for coming out. Forgot to mention that earlier, but it just shows that this program has what it has. I mean, has what it takes. Yeah. Sorry, very tired.
So tired you can't even think sometimes. Basketball will do that to you. It'll wear you out. Branden Carlson, he had a big game. He should be tired. He played well for the Utah Utes as they gave Arizona all they wanted. Branden Carlson matched Pelle Larsson with 27 points. So you had Carlson 27 points on 11 of 19. You had Pelle with 27 points on 10 of 17. Pelle made 2 threes out of 5. Carlson made 2 threes out of 6. Pelle went 5 for 9 from the line. Branden went 3 for 7 from the line. Carlson had 15 rebounds. Pelle had 7. And Pelle had 8 assists to Carlson's just 1. But pretty solid performance for both of those leading men last night in a fabulous basketball game, 105-99. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program, 520-848-1290. If you want to call us at that number, if you want to text us at that number, you can submit your audio thoughts to us. In case you missed our pregame show yesterday, we had a young lady who submitted her audio thoughts on the Wildcats to us. You can do that, and but be mindful. If you submit an audio thought to us, we're likely going to play that on the air. So make sure it's something that you are not afraid for people to hear. You can submit video thoughts to us. If you want to make a video of yourself talking about the Wildcats, you can submit that. We may put that up on our website or on our social media channels, so be mindful of that as well. but you can do all of that through our app. So download the app so you can interact with Wildcats Radio 1290 as best as you can. And also, if you had any issues with the app last night, please let us know. We did have somebody that chimed in that there might have been an issue towards the end of the basketball game last night. Now, we don't carry the basketball broadcast on our app per se. Even though it's our signal and it's coming from us, it's not. It's actually coming from the network. We get the game from the network, Learfield. But if you had any issues while listening to the stream of the game last night, please let us know. We always want to make sure we have everybody taken care of and solve any problems that might be out there in terms of apps and streaming and all of that kind of thing. So please do let us know. All right, that's college basketball. Some big news in the NBA yesterday as well. Not only did the Suns win, the Phoenix Suns last night knocked off Lauri Markkanen and the Utah Jazz at home, 129-115. Lauri, I didn't hear. I don't know. Lauri last year was an all-star. I don't know if I've heard, though, that he's going to be an all-star this coming year. But he had last night, Lauri scored 22 points, but it was not enough as the Suns win the game by 14, 129-115. JW, do you know, is Lauri an all-star this year? I have not heard that he is.
I don't think he. No. I don't. No. I didn't see his name among the all-stars. I know his point totals are down a couple. They're a little bit more balanced this year. His numbers across the board are pretty much the same. I was just looking at his shooting splits last night. It's not like he's fallen off as much as that Utah team. They're playing incredible along with your Cavs and the Clippers. Those are the three hottest teams in the league right now. So, yeah, Utah's been playing great. It's just a lot more balanced. But he's still around 23, 24 points, 22 and a half through 23 points a game.
But again, a big win. Let's hear a little. I'll play this from this side. This one here.
Yes, checking to make sure everything's there.
J-Dub. Oh, okay. I got too many things going here, probably. Yeah, okay, yeah. Let's hear from Kevin Durant. He had a big game.
Lane wide open for him.
Durant's defense forcing the miss. And the crossover winding up and brings the boom.
KD between the legs, little skates right there.
Bringing the boom.
Putting people on skates.
Yeah, 31 points for Kevin Durant last night. He had 8 rebounds and 7 assists. Sounds like Pelle Larsson's line, only with 14 more points.
Yeah, KD better get in the gym if she wants to be like Pelle.
Bradley Beal scored 30 points for the Suns last night. Did Book sit this one out
D-Book did sit it out. He fell, if you saw the game before that, he went up and fell pretty hard on his hip, and they rested him based on a bruised hip, is what I heard.
Right. But the big news is there's a new Sun. And let's hear a little bit how he plays the game. His name is Royce O'Neal.
Dennis Smith on the cut. Inside lay-in for Royce O'Neal.
Moving without the basketball.
Here comes Cam Johnson. Royce O'Neal, 3. Perfect.
Yeah, Royce is like almost perfect, DK, if you've watched much of the Suns. And you think about what they're bringing with the big three. Really, really solid knockdown shooter from the outside. And he's got a lot of size and length and gets that shot off really quick. So we always talk about the Suns really need their role players, those other guys, to just knock down open looks because the, Beal, KD, Book triumvirate, they're going to demand so much defensive attention. You're just going to see a lot of open looks. So, and he's also a very good long defender who can switch different multiple positions. So really good.
Royce O'Neal, who played his college ball at both Denver and Baylor, as you mentioned, in his 6th year in the league. Doesn't average a whole lot. Only averages 7 points for his career, but a 38% three-point shooter. And this kind of goes back to, what Kelvin and I, and we were all talking about last week. It's like sometimes, I know you had heard of Royce O'Neal, and I believe he played with was it Leicester?
Yes.
Yeah, played with Leicester.
Correct.
Medford. Kelvin's
the year Lesser
nephew.
led the league, I think, or led the nation in assists. Yeah, I think that's right.
But, I'm sure he wasn't the best guy on that Baylor team, but a guy with skills that play in the National Basketball Association and has been on teams where he's been a consistent, 60, 70 game starter for 5 seasons.
Yeah, and the modern landscape is because of the new salary cap restrictions, and they're really coming down hard on going over that cap. You're going to start losing draft picks if you go over that for multiple seasons. That's as of this year, the new signing. So you're going to have to look at teams. There's no such thing anymore as getting 3 superstar players and surrounding those guys with aging veterans with big contracts. It's really more, Royce falls in that category of, very, very good role player. And a guy who's not going to make waves, a guy who's just looking to help the team win games. And as you said, has a lot of experience as a starter, can step into that role if needed. But his skill set, I think, is ideal for what Vogel and the Suns are looking for right now.
Let's hear from Frank Vogel, thanking the guys that were traded away. Keita Bates-Diop, one of those, and welcoming in the 2 new guys to the fold.
Yeah, well, I want to start by just thanking Chimezie, Keita, Yuta, and Goody. Those guys have been really good culture fits for us. It's always difficult, to say goodbye to good guys and culture guys, teammates for these guys. Those guys put in a lot of hard work. They're a big reason why we're where we are today and the success we've been having. And we definitely wish them well. But we're really excited about the guys we have coming in. Royce O'Neal and David Roddy, 2 guys that we really feel like are gonna help us. I love that Matt Ishbia is willing to spend even more and do whatever it takes to give us the best chance to win an NBA championship for this city. He's just all in on that. This was a deal that cost us more money, but it's something that, in particular with Royce O'Neal, who's a high-level role player, he's been a starter for the better part of the last 5 years or so, and on some good teams too, some really good teams. Number 1 seed team in Utah a few years back. Just an exceptional defender, exceptional three-point shooter, and a winner. And to get somebody like David Roddy, who is just elevates our toughness and intelligence. Smart player and very physical, represents who we want to be, and was a first-round pick 2 years ago. So he's a really, really talented young man that we're excited to get in our program.
So the Suns get Royce O'Neal from the Brooklyn Nets. They get David Roddy from the Memphis Grizzlies. Again, this was a 3-team deal. They traded 3 second-round picks in this deal. They also traded away Keita Bates-Diop and Jordan Goodwin to Brooklyn, and then also dealt Yuta Watanabe and Chimezie Metu to the Memphis Grizzlies.
So with Cam Thompson, or Cam and Mikal Bridges, right? How many former Suns are now on that Nets roster?
Oh, that's a good question.
A lot.
You're right.
It seems like every trade, the Suns are sending multiple players to New Jersey.
Yeah. It's it. Should we call it Phoenix East? I don't know if we want to do that, if that's necessary. They're not very good. Kevin Durant played with Royce O'Neal in Brooklyn. He has been with the Brooklyn Nets for the last 2 seasons in the NBA. And Kevin Durant, very familiar with his former teammate, now current teammate.
IQ, played with guys that can score the ball. Almost his whole career, and underrated passer, can shoot the basketball. Just a basketball player, to be honest. Positionless basketball player that's gonna help us out and fit in. So I'm excited about him. I love being around Royce and can't wait to keep building with him as a person first, and then as a teammate.
To follow up on Royce, the style of play you guys were running tonight, pace, assist with the switching defensively, that's exactly how he fits in.
Yeah. Being able to guard a few positions, being able to initiate and be a connective, small ball, 4, 3, a guy you could throw the ball to and have him initiate the offense to get guys going, to play in the pocket a little bit and make those passes as well. But he just plays extremely hard, loves the game, loves his teammates, and I think people in the Valley will love watching him.
Well, Bradley Beal has not played with him, but Bradley Beal has seen him play and is a huge fan of Royce O'Neal.
Oh, I'm excited about it. And I've been a fan of Royce from afar. We have a lot of mutual friends together, and I'm definitely excited for what he's able to bring to the team. He's a big defender. He can guard multiple positions, which is somebody that we need right now. And then on top of that, his ability to shoot. He can really shoot the ball, put it on the floor too, and create and get in the paint, little touch shots and little kickouts. So he just fits the mold for what we're building, and we're excited to have him for this push.
All right, so 2 new Phoenix Suns to get to know. We'll see when they are going to be in the lineup. The Suns are back on the floor, I believe, tomorrow night in the NBA against the Warriors, if I'm not mistaken.
Speaking of getting in the lineup, did you see Pat Bev's
He got traded again.
Yeah. He tweeted today. He said, hurry up campaign and get your physical done. I want to play tonight. Because they got to have, everybody involved in the trade has to be clear.
Yeah, right.
And so
that's
what Pat Bev had to say today. He said, hurry up campaign, get that physical done.
Yeah. Suns at the Warriors tomorrow night. It'll be another national TV game on ABC beginning at 6:30. So everybody will get a chance to see the Suns and the Warriors tomorrow night. Phoenix having won their last 3, 5 of their last 6 games coming off that 7-game road trip. So
better look out because Steph could have had 18 threes last night. Did you see that?
I did not.
He started out, I think, 8 for 9. I think he had 7 threes in the first 6 minutes of the game. And the record, I think, is 13, ? I know that it went back and forth between Clay and Steph, but he finished, I think, with 11 made 3-pointers, and they had such a big lead that they pulled him. Steve Kerr pulled him with about 5 minutes to go. But yeah, Steph started that game out on pace to hit 30 threes in that game.
Wow.
So he's pretty hot right now. Not that he's never not hot, but even hotter than normal.
Golden State, though, still outside, just barely outside the play-in picture at 24 and 25. They're virtually tied with the Jazz, but the Jazz hold the final spot in the Western Conference right now at 10. Phoenix at 31 and 21 in the 5th seed spot at the moment. And there is one team in the NBA that has won 8 games in a row.
What team might that be?
The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Can we get some old, 60s, 70s music for that?
Come on, Cavs. Do-do-do-do-do. Gonna make it happen. Find that one. Cavs.
I'll have it after the break.
Gonna make it happen. All right. Before we do that, though, let's hear from Cricket. Come on, Cricket. Tell us about the traffic.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Slowdowns on the westbound side of I-10 approaching Ruthroff. Reported collisions Mary Ann Cleveland Way west of Colossal Cave Road. Ina and Westward Look Drive with some westbound slowing. Midvale Park north of Valencia. Collisions Midtown Speedway west of Alvernon. Another crash at Grant Road in Alvernon. 40, the overnight low. Rain starting early in the morning, about 4 a.m. through tomorrow, all the way through the day tomorrow. The high tomorrow, 42 and 55 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Print Big Sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. Ends 2/10/24. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save more at Staples.
Did you miss the big game? We got you covered.
Knocked away by Love and a steal. Off to KJ Lewis. Slams it home. And Arizona up by 6. Oh, what a big play.
PK on the Sports Tip. 3 to 6 weekdays.
This just in. Goodfellas AC is matching up to $2,000 on federal tax credit.
Whoa, seriously? This is unbelievable. I gotta call Floyd at Goodfellas.
Hello, Goodfellas. Floyd speaking.
Is it true about the $2,000?
It sure is. Homeowners like you may qualify for a 30% federal tax credit up to $2,000 on qualifying heat pumps. And Goodfellas will match the tax credit dollar for dollar up to $2,000. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
Caruso's, a Tucson tradition since 1938, located on historic 4th Avenue. For 4 generations, Caruso's handmade sauce has been prepared with love by a family member, using only the best ingredients. Enjoy specialty Italian dishes like lasagna al forno, chicken tetrazzini, real Italian sausages, spectacular pizza, as well as many vegetarian options. Caruso's offers outdoor dining on their garden patio, with indoor dining also available. Open Tuesday through Sunday, with all your favorites available for takeout. For more information, call 520-624-5765 or visit their website at carusositalian.com.
Southern Arizona Radiology Associates have been dedicated to providing superior images and quality care for the last 35 years. They're the one you trust when you need an X-ray, CT scan, ultrasound, mammogram, or MRI. They have locations in Tucson, Green Valley, and Sierra Vista. Ask your doctor to refer you to Southern Arizona Radiology Associates today. That's Southern Arizona Radiology Associates. Visit their website at sararadiology.com or call 520-335-6849 for more information.
At Boot Barn Work, we support those who rise in the early mornings and keep pushing through the long night shifts, because there are mouths to feed, homes to build, and a country to fuel. Those who mark their progress by the wear on their tools and the sweat dripping down their face. Every scuff on your boots represents your role in America's unrelenting workforce. Boot Barn Work, for those who feed, build, and fuel the nation.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. And now, during our President's Day sale, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends Monday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Here's an important message from University Termite and Pest Control. The weather is cooler here, and so pests are seeking alternative housing. Do you need a professional? University Termite and Pest Control has been serving Tucson since 1974. You can be assured University Termite and Pest Control will keep you pest-free using the most responsible products and application methods. 28 school districts, 3 hospitals, 2 colleges, 1 university, and thousands of homeowners trust University Termite and Pest Control for the past 50 years. You can too. University Termite and Pest Control. Find us online at bepestfree.com.
Hi, you know me, Scott Lehman from ScottSaysYes.com. Check out this month's Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar powered by Premier Auto Center.
Visit the Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar at wildcatsradio1290.com to find out what community events are coming up in the Tucson area. You can also find Wildcats Radio 1290 events, upcoming sporting events, and more. Get the details and get involved with our community at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Go to ScottSaysYes.com today.
Android users, you can tune in to the home of the Wildcats by downloading our new app at the Google Play Store, so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 85% water, right?
85% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients. Don't pay for water, pay for clean.
Save $10 when you spend $30 on Tide and Downy. Water content based on the leading Bargain liquid detergent. Must buy at least one participating Tide or Dreft detergent item, plus at least one participating Downy and or Bounce scent booster, liquid fabric softener, or dryer sheets. Prepaid card by mail. Visit pglaundryrebate.com for terms and conditions.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Yes.
Come on, Cavs. Gotta make it happen. Come on, Cavs. Gotta make it happen with your fast break action. Gotta make it happen. Just keep on coming on. Gotta make it happen. Come on, Cavs.
Why are all the 1970s team songs always the best?
I mean, they were the best. Like, we don't have anything like that anymore.
I did find the one from the Mark Price era as well. You want to hear that?
Oh, did we have? I don't remember what that one was.
Here it is. You ready?
Okay, yeah.
No, that's that one.
That was that.
But this one is the other one.
Okay.
Tonight we're gonna take no prisoners.
It's got a Huey Lewis sound to it.
This time we're gonna live our dream. Tonight the orange and blue delivers. hometown, hard-working
That's my favorite line. Hardworking town, hardworking team.
Tonight the hardwood's burning and the
This isn't Michael Stanley, is it?
I'd have to look it up.
No. 'Cause we had some rock and roll guys, from Cleveland. That song was not nearly as popular as the 70s.
They got a picture of the boss in this video, but I don't think that's Springsteen.
The boss like Bruce Springsteen?
Yeah, they
or
got
the
a picture
boss
of him.
like Gordon Gunn?
No, the boss, Bruce Springsteen. They got a picture of him in this video, but I'm pretty sure that's not Bruce Springsteen.
No. Okay. All right. Hottest team in the NBA right now. My Cleveland Cavaliers.
Michael Stanley.
Absolutely loving it. It was Michael Stanley.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a hometown boy. Hometown rock and roll king, Michael Stanley. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 if you want to give us your thoughts on the Suns' deal to pick up Royce O'Neal and what that potentially does in the addition to this club as they try to make their way up the Western Conference standings. Coming up later in the next segment, we're going to let you hear the interview from CBS Sports Radio, Zach Gelb, earlier today with Bijan Robinson out at the Super Bowl out of South Point Catholic High School. Just completed his first season.
Very hydrated, apparently.
Yeah. Everybody's hawking something out there,
well,
right?
No. He's very hydrated because apparently he sat down and Zach, you'll hear it obviously in the interview, but he says, I got to out you, Bijan. The first thing you do when you sat down is said, "Where's the bathroom?" So very hydrated.
Exactly. So good to have Bijan on.
Such
good
a
to hear him.
well-spoken young man.
Yeah, he is. I mean, Bijan is as good a kid as you're gonna find, and proud, very proud. I mean, we're proud of all of our kids out here. But I had this conversation off the air yesterday with Kelvin, and I think we kind of disagreed on it a little bit, which is fine. But I just think when I look at what's happening now with some of our high school kids and how they're conducting themselves in terms of these college decisions and the blowback that some of them have received for the way that they've handled these college decisions. And Bijan did not choose to go to the University of Arizona, and that's fine. I mean, because and I've always said this. I mean, because I'm from the school of, I was raised that you go away to college.
Sure.
Okay. That's the way I was raised. I never heard the phrase. Now, granted, I was not a student athlete that had any college potential like that growing up, but I never heard the phrase growing up, "You're going to stay home and go to college." It was always, "You're going to go away to college."
Yeah. Well, that's a big part of the experience.
Yeah. Is getting out from under your parents' shadow, going and becoming an adult and living your own life in another town.
Well, the freshman 15 happens because you're no longer under the supervision of your parents cooking, not going home every couple of days to get mom's cookies.
And you're eating Cafe 84.
Right. By the way, I have to apologize because I just said young man to Mr. Bijan. He's 22 and he just played in the NFL. That's a man.
Yeah.
That's a grown man.
He's a grown man.
Sorry about that.
Grown-ass man right now. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you go away to college. So I mean, that's fine. I mean, I'm all for our kids getting out of Tucson and going and exploring other places and all of that. Sure, if they want to stay and play for the University of Arizona, that's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. But I would never begrudge a kid the belief and the chance to go and explore another piece of this great country of ours. And experience something different. It's how you go about it that rubs me the wrong way with the way that some of these things are being handled now with our young student athletes. And I said this to Kelvin. I said, I don't know anybody that was mad at Bijan for leaving and going to Texas. You know why? Because he did it the right way.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying. Do it the right way. Make a decision, stick with that decision. Same thing with Latham Ransom. And we can yell and scream that Arizona didn't recruit him, but let's just be honest in terms of those three. And when I say those three, I'm talking Bijan Robinson and Lathan Ransom and Bruno Fina out of that South Point Catholic class. Let's be honest about those three, okay? If you've got a shot to go to Texas versus Arizona, you're probably going to go to Texas.
What about Stanford versus Arizona?
If you've got, well, Stanford versus just about any public university.
Well, I'm talking about Blake Martinez.
Yeah, Blake Martinez, exactly. If you've got a chance to go to Stanford over Arizona, you're probably going to go to Stanford, okay? Because you can walk out of Stanford as long as you put in the work on the academic side and probably write your own ticket once your playing career is over. Okay, if you've got a chance to go to Ohio State University versus Arizona, I think you're going to go and play at Ohio State University, and that's fine. You know, even if you know and I've always said the mistake that the Sumlin regime made there was they should have just said, hey, they should have made it very clear that we want you if you want to be here, but we certainly aren't going to, begrudge you if you want to go somewhere else. You got to offer, you got to make every single kid that's capable of playing at the Division I level in this town, you got to make them feel like their home should be Arizona if that's the choice that they want to make. And then if they decide that they want to go to UCLA, if they decided they want to go to Texas, they decide they want to go to Stanford, Ohio State, then fine. Because that's what, college is about going and exploring yourself and growing up. But just do it the right way. Don't say you're going to go to Arizona and then change your mind a month later. That's the part that I don't like.
Yeah.
Make a decision, stick with a decision. Don't be wishy-washy. And I understand we're talking about 17 and 18-year-olds, but don't, if these are adult decisions, don't be wishy-washy about your decisions, because that's the part that rubs a lot of this fan base the wrong way. If you say that it's about being at home, if you say it's about repping Tucson, then be about repping Tucson regardless of who the coaching staff is. Be about repping Tucson if that's what it's about for you. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 if you want to get in on any of that.
I think step one, DK, to keeping the high D1 prospects in town, if that's what they want to do, is putting together a program that's capable of winning 9 or 10 or 11 games every year.
Yes.
Right? That's clearly something that wasn't a factor 4, 5, 6 years ago. So I think where Arizona's at right now, and Brent Brennan's going to do his thing, and any local athletes who are capable of being of getting offers at places like Notre Dame, Ohio State, Stanford, the players will potentially look towards being a Wildcat simply because there is success and there is success on the horizon.
All right, our question of the day is about the Arizona Wildcats. Are you basketball team? Are you happy with Arizona's approach to last shot scenarios? We're getting a lot of response on this. Our guy Doug in Tucson says, I agree, with or without a timeout, we need to have a team approach on last-second shots, not play ISO or hero ball. This isn't an Arizona problem. It's across the entire basketball landscape. Men's, women's, pro, college, high school. Teams suddenly scrap all organization and panic.
Well, that's it right there. I think I haven't really given my 2 cents, but my big thing is if you've spent the entire game playing the game one way, DK, and then all of a sudden on one possession you're going to play some kind of ISO like your James Harden, that's not the same flow that you've had all game long. So all of a sudden you're changing things up. I do get if there's, 29 seconds on the shot clock when you get the ball, game's tied, you want to run that clock out. And so there's a lot of standing up and dribbling. But with about 8 seconds to go, get into some kind of action as opposed to just having a 26-footer fly off.
Yeah. Greg Thompson on my disappointment with these offensive plays. Totally agree. Run a damn play. Drive to the basket. Love or Larson need to drive to the basket. And I said it when I said it with Roxy, man. Give the ball, give Pella a chance. Give Pella a chance to go win a game. I for one time. Give me Pella one time to try to win a game. I'd love to see it.
You remember
I'd absolutely love to see it.
Remember 3 months ago when you asked me what I thought the key to Arizona being the best version of themselves was?
Pella driving to the basket.
Pella getting
to
the lane more often with aggressive
and
drive.
we're seeing that.
Yeah.
We're seeing that.
I mean, especially against those zones. I mean, he softened up that zone, whatever that was. 1-3-1 is what it looked like at times. Kelvin thought it might be a 1-1-3 or that type of thing because there's 3 guys more on the baseline. But whenever Pella got in that middle and got that pass, either it was a lob to Ballo or a flip shot or he got fouled. He just really decimated that zone at times.
All right, we'll hear from the players and Tommy and some of what they had to say after the ball game coming up next. We'll push Bijan back into the 5 o'clock hour, and we'll let you hear from Bijan and what he had to say earlier today from Las Vegas and the Super Bowl. We'll get into some of the Super Bowl sound. Hall of Fame was announced last night. My dad has some new fraternity members. In fact, a guy who is going in as the first major special team star in the National Football League, Devin Hester, is going into the Hall of Fame. 19 kick return touchdowns in his career. Nobody returned the ball in the National Football League like Devin Hester, and now he's on his way to Canton, Ohio. If you're on your way to Canton, Ohio, you got to get out of Tucson first, and Cricket's here to tell you how to do that safely.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions reported 6th Avenue south of I-10, Campbell and Limberlost, some backups on Campbell at Limberlost. Mary Ann Cleveland Way west of Colossal Cave Road, Ina and Westward Look Drive, some westbound slowing there. Midvale Park north of Valencia and also Midtown Grant Road in Alvernon. 40 the overnight low. Rain starting around 4 a.m. overnight tonight and through tomorrow. The high tomorrow, 40. 55 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Big O Tires. Right now at Big O Tires, get up to $160 in rebate savings on 4 select in-stock Michelin tires with installation purchase. See store for details. Offer ends February 19th. So hurry into Big O Tires, the team you trust.
This is what a party sounds like. This is what O'Reilly's 100-year anniversary party will sound like. Save the date. It's March 23rd, right here at the dealership.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
We're celebrating 99 years, 8 seconds at a time. The 99th La Fiesta de los Vaqueros Tucson Rodeo returns February 17th to 25th with action-packed fun for the whole family. Plus delicious food, beer garden, shopping, kids activities, and the Coors Barn Dance. La Fiesta de los Vaqueros Tucson Rodeo, February 17th through 25th at the Tucson Rodeo Grounds. Get your tickets today at 520-741-2233 or TucsonRodeo.com.
The new Blue Whale Car Wash, formerly Octopus Car Wash, is now open. They're locally owned and operated and offer many ways for you to save. Start now by downloading the Blue Whale Car Wash app. Then visit their website at bluewhalecarwashaz.com to find a location near you. Don't forget to follow them on Instagram and Facebook for even more savings. And for a limited time, their exterior-only wash is $5 at all 4 locations. Blue Whale Car Wash, proud radio sponsor of the University of Arizona Wildcats.
At Nova Home Loans, we believe everyone deserves the opportunity to enjoy the independence that comes with home ownership. Whether you're a first-time home buyer who needs down payment assistance, have less than perfect credit, or looking to refinance, Nova has a variety of home loan programs for your unique situation. Visit NovaHomeLoans.com or call 800-955-9125 to learn more. Not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Rates and available loan programs are subject to change without notice. NMLS 3087, BK 0902429, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Westwood One is the only place for exclusive audio coverage of every NFL postseason game. Hi, this is Scott Graham. Join us throughout the month of January and into February as we bring you Super Wildcard Weekend, the Divisional Round, Championship Sunday, and of course Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. All 13 NFL playoff games are on Westwood One. If it's the NFL playoffs, it's right here.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1914. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1914. That's 800-575-1914. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I don't think people understand how much cool air escapes into their walls and attic.
Or how much extra that costs you every month.
If only there was a way to explain how Alaskan AC keeps that from happening. It's kind of like that.
Did you seriously just AeroSeal Gary's mouth?
Notice how almost no air is getting through?
True.
You're right, Gary. Only Alaskan AC includes AeroSeal with every AC system we sell. It keeps the cool in your home, not in your walls and attic.
He said all that? What'd he say now?
You're probably paying 20 to 50% more than you have to. You'll see savings from your new AeroSeal included systems the very first year.
I had no idea Gary knew so much about AeroSeal.
It's a big part of how we customize heating and air systems so people are comfortable in every room.
I gotta hand it to you, Gary. You know how to make a good point.
A regular pro at this.
Oh, that's right.
Forgot the most important part.
AeroSeal, included with every system at Alaskan AC.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. I haven't paid any of the bills today, have I?
You're going to get evicted.
I am evicted from this chair if you don't start taking care of the sponsors, young man. Wildcats Radio 1290 and Coors Light want to send you to the men's basketball tournament in Las Vegas. Super Bowl this month. NCAA tournament coming up. That's a huge. Have you ever been to Las Vegas for that first weekend of the NCAA tournament?
I've been to McHale for like 5 or 6 NCAA tournaments, the first and second round. But
Okay.
I don't think I've been to Vegas. No.
Okay. It apparently is like unbelievable if you go like the first weekend.
Sure,
My
because
guy Kevin Adger, who we talked about earlier in the week, his kids were playing in that flag football thing down in Florida. He and his buddies, they've had a like standing trip.
Yeah, no, it's
every year.
I mean, the Super Bowl, a lot of bets come in on that. But as far as March Madness, the first weekend, DK, I mean, it's insane. And that's where that started. I remember living up there in the mid-'90s. It wasn't a big thing. And then I remember transitioning, and all of a sudden, Vegas had to be the place to go for that first weekend.
Yeah, so we want to send you to the Pac-12 men's basketball tournament. And here's what you're going to get. If you win this grand prize, 2 all-session passes for the tournament, 4 days, March 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th. Arizona won't be playing on Wednesday, which is a good thing. They'll play on Thursday. In the quarterfinals, and then Saturday will be the semifinals, and then, Thursday, the quarterfinals, Friday, the semifinals, and then Saturday, the finals. $1,000 in cash cards to cover whatever you need. You can use that $1,000 for your travel, for your hotels, for your dinners, whatever. If you want to, hang out with Elvis and get your picture taken with him. If you want to zip line down on Fremont Street.
What if you want to clean your feet in the Bellagio fountain? Can you do that?
Yeah, that sounds disgusting.
Probably not.
Don't put your feet into other people's fountains. No,
That's a good rule to live by.
But if you want to, I don't think there's any pool parties going on at this time of year. But if you want to buy yourself a nice cabana at the pool party, you can do that too.
Bottle service.
Bottle service. Exactly. It's not Las Vegas without bottle service. I heard it's kind of cold there this week. I was watching one of the national shows that airs on another network, and the people that were sitting out there, they looked like they were freezing.
Yeah, it's like, what are we doing? This is the reason we're supposed to be here this time of year. It's supposed to be warm.
Yeah, no. Anyway, head on over to our website, wildcatsradio1290.com. Sign up for this awesome giveaway. Again, Pac-12 men's basketball tournament, mid-March. The games are at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, the last Pac-12 men's basketball tournament as we know it. It's going to be sad. It's going to be sad. I'm sure there'll be some tears. I'm sure there'll be a lot of tributes. I'm sure they might, maybe they'll walk around with Bill Walton hoisted on a chair. I don't know. But you're going to want to be there to see it.
A lot of sad and a lot of bottle service.
Yeah. Yeah, get bottle service to drown your sadness.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
There you go. 2 all-session passes, $1,000 in cash cards. Wildcats Radio 1290. Sign up now. Good luck from Coors Light and Wildcats Radio 1290. All right, let's hear from Tommy Lloyd on Pelle Larsson and his 27-point performance in the win over Utah.
What can you say about Pelle down the stretch? I mean, he did miss those 2 in the second overtime.
And he missed another one. But he was great. He kind of figured out how to attack that zone, so we were kind of able to get him in the right spot and get him in the middle of the floor. And, Pelle's a problem solver, and he's a winner. And, we're lucky to have him. And I know, this game's never easy for him because, he's not one of those guys that left Utah, unhappy. He had a good experience here. So, I know coming back here, revenge in Pelle's language probably isn't a strong word. So I think it's a kind of an emotional game for him. So to see him play well and get us over the top was awesome.
Always great to see Pelle play well. I'd love to see him get a last-second shot. Absolutely. Pelle on getting that win against his old team, the Utah Utes.
I mean, it feels good. I feel like I didn't have to do too much. Like, my shot came easy from my teammates, and I was able to find them too. So, I'm just playing with my teammates, and the other stuff that doesn't really matter. Just us 5 guys in the court that matters.
What's the statute limitation on that? Because he's asked about Utah every time he goes up there. I think it was 4 years ago. He played there 1 year as an 18-year-old. Not to take – obviously, you heard Coach say there that it was amicable, and he had a really good time up there in Salt Lake and has no bad blood or anything. But, being is that they've played 7 times since then, since he left campus there, and every single post game against Utah is going to be asked about it.
That was Larry Kristoviak, right?
Yeah.
He's not even his coach anymore.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Tommy Lloyd, though, had his other guard, Caleb Love, get off to a little bit of a slow start shooting the ball, but 11 of his 19 points came in the extra period.
The beautiful thing about Caleb is he's not scared, and he doesn't have to be perfect, and so I just kept telling him, I just telling him, hey, play good defense, and then stay aggressive on offense. It's gonna come, and those are the games you got to hang with it, and I'm really proud of the way we started the game. You go up 16 on the road. That's really important because these games are hard to win. You're playing at a place where they haven't lost. I'm assuming they're going to make a run in the second half. So to have that buffer, to be able to absorb, their run, and their run kept coming. I would have liked we would have taken it back up to 10 or 12, but we didn't. So that lead in the first half allowed us to absorb how well they played in the second half and got it into overtime, and we were able to find a way.
J-Dub just made a funny while we were listening to Tommy Lloyd. Well, and I commented on this last night. I was like, where are they doing these post-game interviews from? It always sounds like they're out in the hall. J-Dub says it sounds like they're in a restaurant kitchen.
Yeah, listen.
The beautiful thing about Caleb is he's not scared. And, he doesn't have
like the background noise. I worked in a lot of restaurants and a lot of bars, and that background sounds like stacking plates up out of the sterilizer and pots and pans getting washed.
Now I was listening for somebody to say, Porterhouse on 4.
Right, exactly. Order up.
Oh my gosh! Not everybody and we sometimes argue that we have nice things here at the University of Arizona. We've got a nice media room that we get to go to, but apparently not on the road. Well, that's how they do it at McHale. The visiting team does their interviews in the hallway.
Room with the door forever. Like every post game, there would always be the sound of a door. Like it doesn't. There's not that any. It doesn't. It's not like that anymore.
No.
But there was a period of time where every post game for the U of A,
door.
You'd hear the door.
Yeah, that was back in the small room days.
Exactly. Yeah.
The small room days. Pelle on the play of Caleb Love down the stretch.
Caleb is a big-time player, and he's been like in a lot of those situations. and he just got to trust us finding him, and we will, because we want him taking those shots, and yeah, we trust him making them. So
I think there's a big takeaway from that for the average listener out there who maybe thinks, why doesn't Caleb shoot 40 times? Why doesn't Pelle shoot in last second shots? All that stuff. What he said right there is we trust him. Well, what he first said is he needs to trust us that we'll get him the ball, and we trust him that he'll make those shots.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. We talk a lot about players getting to know each other, all the NIL and transfer portal stuff. That's it right there. What it is completely having, because you don't have time to think out there. It's really just read and react. And if you don't have an inherent trust in the person by your side by side on your shoulders, and understanding their strengths and weaknesses, I mean, they all know that Caleb's capable, especially late shot clock, knocking down shots. So you got to have trust in each other, and especially knowing that Caleb can and will knock those shots down and finding him in those spots.
6 offensive rebounds in the game for Keyshawn Johnson. He finished with 17 points and 9 rebounds overall. Had a big offensive rebound late that got himself to the line. That helped seal this game away for the Wildcats. And he talked about his ability to crash the boards when it counted.
We just got to be aggressive. I was aggressive, got a couple offensive rebounds, It's just got to make winning plays, especially when you're on the road and everything's not on your side. So that's just the result of that, being able to get to the line. And I knocked a couple down. I still missed a couple too. So just got to if I get those makes, we probably seal the deal earlier.
Keyshawn, what do you think about your offensive rebound at the end?
I would say Paulie he was on the bench. He was just saying like, Keyshawn, be an animal, and I went and got it done. Shout out Paulie. Keyshawn, be an animal, and I went and got it done. Shout out Paulie.
Shout out Paulie. Paulius Morauskas. That's our guy. We love Paulie.
Oh, yeah. Someday he's going to be a big-time contributor.
Yeah.
Not too long in the distant future.
Not too long in the distant future. We'll wrap this part up with Tommy Lloyd, whose team is in first place, remains in first place by 1 game. They'll be in first place regardless of what happens tomorrow in Boulder. Whether they are alone, though, will be determined by the outcome of that game and other games this weekend in the Pac-12 Conference. But Arizona, through at least 13 games, 13 of the 20 games on the Pac-12 schedule, is going to be right where they want to be.
If you want to compete for a conference championship, you have to be able to compete and win some games on the road. And, obviously, we didn't get it done at Washington State. We didn't get it done at Oregon State. Stanford, obviously, we didn't get it done when we played there. But I think we're playing better basketball now. I think we're building. And I think all these experiences are accumulating. And listen, we're going into another place on Saturday that they haven't lost at home. They have really good players and a good coach. It's going to be tough. We just need to dig down and see if we can find a way.
It's like a DK rant there, because he must have pounded that table like 9 times or 10 times in that 25 seconds.
Yeah, who does he think he is?
I don't know.
Trying to be like me there.
Incidentally, Arizona maybe dropped in some polls and dropped on the lines, but as of today, Bracketology has them on the 1 line again. They've been on the 2 line for the past maybe month or so, but they've got them back again amongst the 4 1 seeds.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Good to know for sure. All right. Shout out to Arizona softball. They won their opener yesterday over Utah Tech by a score of 9-1. There are 2 games scheduled today. Hopefully they'll get both of those games in. In fact, they're supposed to be playing Lipscomb right now. It does not appear I think the schedule is a little bit behind, so it does not appear that game has started. It was supposed to start at 4. Lipscomb at 4 o'clock, North Texas at 6 o'clock. So the ladies at home opening up their season. Baseball Alumni Day is tomorrow. I don't know if they're going to get that in, judging by the weather that's on the horizon here.
I've
42
been listening
degrees and
to
all
Cricket,
that.
and she's been saying early tomorrow morning.
Rain, yeah. But there is a social tonight. All the guys are in town. I was talking to Ernie DeRosso. He was hoping to join us on the show today, but something came up with his son, so he was not able to join us. But even Ern said he was going to go over there and try to take some BP tomorrow. And he said he was not Ernie said he was not getting out of the cage until he, quote, hit one out of that place.
Roped it.
Ernie Durazo, one of our DJs over at The Vibe, an Arizona baseball alum, coaches youth baseball here in Southern Arizona. We'll have to get him on and get some. He was telling me some stories, man. Gil Heredia. We got to get Gil Heredia on the show. He was telling me a couple of Gil Heredia stories about Ricky Henderson, who he played in Oakland with Ricky Henderson. And, big league stories are just the best. I mean, there are some just great stuff. And Ricky stories are even better. The Ricky Henderson story. I'll tell this one real quick. It's legendary. So Ricky goes to an All-Star game, and John Olerud is there. John Olerud, lefty out of Washington State, played for the Blue Jays and a bunch of teams. And, John Olerud had gotten hit in the head early in his career, so he always had to wear a helmet during batting practice and whatnot. And Ricky walks up to him, and he's like, say, man, he's like, he would wear it in the field, too. He's like, hey, why you always wear that helmet? Why you always? So John Olerud's telling him the story about why he's wearing the helmet. He's like, yeah, I got hit in the head. It's a, brain injury possibility, so I have to wear the helmet all the time. And Ricky says, man, I played in Seattle with a guy that had that same problem. And John Olerud said, yeah, Ricky, that was me.
Yeah, Ricky. I know.
Gotta love Ricky Henderson.
I feel like
man.
Ricky only pays attention to really what's going on in his little sphere, and everything else is just noise, right?
That's why he spoke in the third term.
Incidentally, I know Porkchop's the hardest working person in show business here in Tucson, but Earn Dollars is right there as well.
Earn is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Earn. We saw Earn. Earn was DJing on New Year's Eve when we were down at the Corbett's, the new downtown pickleball establishment. He's all over the place. He and Porkchop. Maybe I need to start DJing again. Get back in. I used to DJ when I was a younger man. But
break out the turntables.
Break out the turntables. Put the wheels of steel. I don't think you want DK back on the wheels of steel. This town might not ever be the same. Hey, cricket. Give us traffic. Traffic. Much more coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. It's DK on the Sports Tip with J-Dub and Cricket on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With reported collisions, had that crash that was reported at Ina and Westward Look Drive. Some westbound slowing on Ina approaching Oracle. Also some slowdowns on northbound Oracle at Ina. Other collisions right up the road from that wreck, Oracle and Suffolk. And other crashes, 22nd Street and Columbus. 6th Avenue to the south of I-10 and also Campbell and Limberlost. Limberlost and Campbell with some northbound slowing. And our weather, 40 the overnight low, rain probably starting around 4 a.m. overnight tonight and then raining through tomorrow. The high tomorrow, 40. 55 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer.
COVID-19? I don't want to risk missing work. I booked an appointment for this season's updated COVID-19 shot designed to help protect against recent variants. Learn about a vaccine option and book your COVID-19 shot on schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. There's been a lot of buzz here in Vegas this week about the possibility that Sunday will be Andy Reid's last ride in the NFL, and it does make sense, right? The man is 65. He's on the verge of lifting his third Lombardi. He's achieved everything there is to achieve. He has proven he is one of the greatest coaches and offensive innovators in the history of the sport, and if the Chiefs win, he has a chance to walk it off on top. So I would not exactly be shocked if he did, but you know who would be shocked? The Chiefs, or more specifically, the Chiefs GM, because Brett Veach told 610 Sports Radio in Kansas City this week. Quote, that is not something I've heard directly. I don't buy one bit of that. For what it's worth, maybe I don't know anything, but I would be shocked more than anybody, and I talk to Coach every day. End of quote. Well, there you have it. The guy who would have to replace Andy Reid is not remotely worried about replacing Andy Reid. I don't know for sure what will happen, but if he does walk off, he will do it like a boss.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure that you'll get your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt!
And Jackson Hewitt also guarantees the accuracy of your return for life. So don't just sit there. For your biggest refund guaranteed, walk into a Jackson Hewitt today and dance out Jackson Hewitt! Yeah!
O'Reilly!
You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We get you so close to the action at McHale, it feels like Wilbur and Wilma are in the car with you. This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
At Blue Moon, we craft our beer with Valencia orange peel and coriander for a brighter flavor that's one of a kind every time. So we decided to craft a one-of-a-kind radio ad using just those ingredients. Orange peel, coriander, 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 orange peel, orange peel, orange peel, orange peel, orange peel. Okay, you know what? Maybe we should just stick to crafting one-of-a-kind beers. Blue Moon, one of a kind, every time. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Co., Golden, Colorado.
Good news, everybody!
We stay on the air with you for an extra 2 hours after every Arizona football and men's basketball game all season long. That's why we are the home of the Wildcats. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our beautiful Arizona winter weather brings cooler overnight temperatures, which means some of you are now seeing your vehicle's low-pressure warning light. Colder overnight temperatures can lower your tire's pressure just enough to trigger a warning light. But don't worry, many times the solution is simply adding the correct amount of air to your tires. Then get back to enjoying the fantastic winter weather. If adding the air doesn't do the trick, stop by any of our 14-area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if you need help with the low-pressure warning light, we fix those too. Mention this radio offer for free installation with the purchase of any new tire pressure sensor. We'll install it in your wheel and rebalance your tires absolutely free. You'll find even more specials to get your car road trip ready at jackfurriers.com. So call ahead, make an appointment online, or just drop by. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
The American Red Cross is facing an emergency blood shortage. More donors are urgently needed now to ensure blood is ready at a moment's notice. Make an appointment today to give. Use the Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule your donation.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Final hour of the program tonight. Final hour of our show before Super Bowl Sunday. We will have that game for you right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. Our coverage begins at noon on Sunday with all the build-up. Kickoff at around 4:30 in the evening. The San Francisco 49ers, the Kansas City Chiefs. Who do you have in the Super Bowl? Who do you think is going to win this game on Sunday? 520-848-1290. We'll take your calls on that. 520-848-1290. J-Dub and I will give our thoughts on that coming up a little bit later before we get out of here for the evening. We are not done with sports on local sports tonight. We've got Arizona women's basketball coming up for you. Late game because the Wildcats are on the West Coast. They're going to take on the UCLA Bruins tonight. I mean, this is not the road trip, but we talk about this road trip for the Arizona men being a difficult road trip. This road trip for the ladies is about as hard as it gets in this conference. These two teams in Southern California and UCLA are both top 10. In fact, this week the Bruins came in at 9 and the Trojans came in at 10. And you've got the Bruins tonight. There will be a number of games on Sunday in the Pac-12. However, the Wildcats do not play until Monday because their game is on national television on Monday night. ESPN2 will televise that game Monday night at 7 o'clock our time between the Wildcats and the number 10 Southern California Trojans. Juju Watkins.
Juju moves the needle.
Yeah, we'll hear, in fact, you'll hear from, join us on the pregame show tomorrow, the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show tomorrow. We'll let you hear Adia Barnes' comments on Juju Watkins tomorrow. 51 points last week for Juju against the number 4 Stanford Cardinal. The most points scored in Division I this season. The most points by a USC player in program history. Think about that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Think about that. And she's a freshman.
She's a freshman averaging 27, 2.7 steals per game, DK. That's a lot. Also, 3.5 assists.
Yeah. 51 points. Second most by a Pac-12 player in league history.
Cheryl never had the three-point line, right?
No, she didn't. She did not have that. Kelsey Plum holds the record, 57 in a game. 50, and get this, 51 of their 67 points.
Right. It's crazy.
She scored 76% of the USC's points in that game. Highest percentage by any D1 player in a game in over 25 years. And she's the first player in 25 years to score 50 against an AP top 5 team.
It's funny you mentioning Kelsey Plum because isn't Caitlin Clark only like 60 points from passing?
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's going to happen. I didn't know that Caitlin Clark was dating Fran McCaffrey's son that played at Iowa. I think his name is Connor McCaffrey. I think he had 2 sons. I think they both played there. Fran McCaffrey, the head coach of the Iowa men's basketball
I have an admission. You ready?
Yeah.
I don't know who anybody's dating, and I don't really care.
See, you're absolutely the different as me. I am all into that. You probably didn't know, the hot Wildcat couple of the moment.
Ooh, can I guess?
You can guess. I don't know if you'll
Actually,
get it.
I don't want to guess because then I'll probably ruffle some feathers, hurt some feelings.
Henry Vesar.
Okay.
And Jasmine Parrish-Chica.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats, guys.
They are the king and queen couple right now inside the Wildcat Athletic Department. Good for them. He's really tall, and she's probably about 5'4".
I really, really like Henry Vesar.
I can't wait to see him play.
I like his game. I like his game a lot. I think his game translates to this level, next level. I think he's going to be a very, very good player.
Yeah. Jazz and her girls will be on the field here shortly. And in case you did not know, Jasmine Parrish-Chica, the daughter of Tony Parashchika, who I still think has one of the all-time top 5. That's one of the all-time top 5 names in baseball, in professional baseball. Tony Parashchika.
It's not Ricky Henderson? I mean, because Ricky thinks that Ricky is the best name that Ricky ever came up with. That's what Ricky says.
How Ricky gonna steal bases when Ricky cleat come off? Apparently his like cleats were falling apart.
Like, I'm not that old, but in my mind, Ricky Henderson invented third person.
Yeah, he did. He absolutely did. Who's the other guy? There was another guy. Oh gosh, there was another name very similar to Tony Parashchika from like the 70s and the 80s in baseball that I remember. Oh gosh, it's not coming to me right now. But yeah, he's a third base coach for the Diamondbacks, Tony Parashchika. So I think a few weeks ago we played her response, and we'll play it again. I'll play it again maybe next week. Her response to being a part of the World Series process last year.
Right.
You know, working out and practicing and then getting in her car and driving up to the games during the World Series so she could be there with her family. So good stuff there. Let's hear from Adia Barnes on Courtney Blakely. This is a new name for us. Courtney Blakely. Actually, we'll have to push that because I think cricket's coming here shortly. We won't have, I think we've got a few minutes. We got a few minutes, so we'll get through this. Courtney Blakely is 17 games off the bench. Well, here comes cricket. So, I knew cricket was going to be opening the door very slowly. So we'll hear from Courtney Blakely coming up in the next
Cricket's
segment.
very timely.
Yeah, she's very timely. She never is late. Cricket is never late for anything.
Never.
I almost was earlier. I almost knocked J-Dub over in the hall. Like, sorry, I didn't get my headphones. I mean, not on purpose. Just
okay.
I'm just clumsy.
All right. Well, are you really?
Very.
Is that a lifelong thing?
Oh, yeah.
So can you like stand on one foot and balance yourself? Are you that kind of clumsy or like?
I'm just clumsy. Everything.
Do you drop stuff around the house?
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen you with a bandage on anything ever, so that's surprising.
Run into doors and that kind of thing?
Oh, yeah.
No?
Trip over nothing.
Trip over
Yeah.
Trip on the hardwood floors?
Exactly.
Do you have hardwood floors? Do you have carpet?
Like the concrete, like kind of like the painted concrete or whatever it's called. Yeah.
You have concrete in your house?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Acid concrete.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
ghetto.
What's that to walk on?
That's ghetto.
It's nice on your bare feet, though.
It's cool in the summer.
Yeah,
you know what I can't, and my wife does not understand this. When we were looking, so we moved from the east side, kind of by Reed Park over to the foothills like 4 years ago, and we looked at a lot of different places. I absolutely hate. We're condo people, condos and apartments and that kind of thing. I hate that like concrete wall thing that's very popular here. You know what I'm talking about?
Like
it's like this.
Indoors?
Like this. Like this wall behind me here.
Uh-huh.
It's very fashionable in a lot of condos here in southern Arizona. And I've never seen that in my life anywhere other than here.
And it's not functional. It's just like half a wall. Like it's not separating a room or whatever.
No,
like,
it's just like one of the exterior walls is
okay.
like this concrete brick inside of condos. And I'm like,
it's like a throwback to Adobe.
Yeah, I'm like, whose idea was that?
Who does that?
Who does that?
Exactly.
Exactly.
There's a lot
I want a wall like that over there.
Like soundproof?
It can be soundproof. That's great. But I want a regular wall. I don't want like concrete. I don't understand, like, was that the thing back when they were building condos here in the 70s and 80s?
Tucson loves brick.
I don't know.
Truth.
I don't know. All right, Cricket, what's happening this weekend?
Oh.
My wife doesn't come back till Sunday, so I might need what, but I don't think, we're working late Saturday, so I probably won't be going out anywhere anyway. So,
Okay.
But tell the folks where they can go out.
Okay, so maybe this might be for you. Well, you're going to be working really late, right?
Really? Yeah. What time are we getting done, J-Dub? Like 11:30 this Sunday?
Game's at 8, so probably 1.
1. Oh, yeah, that's right. That'll be a 1 o'clock night.
Yeah, 1:30 maybe.
Okay, maybe you'll have time to go to, there's a spooky rave tomorrow night at the Rialto Theater. Starts at 9, and they're calling it's the people behind this rave, behind the TikTok famous Shrek rave, which I don't really know what that is, but I know you're big on raves, so I thought I'd mention that. Also, of course, like you mentioned, the last official weekend for the Tucson Gem, Mineral, and Fossil Show. Visit Tucson.org for all the details. Second Saturday's downtown. And also, I know you want to talk about the weekend, but I wanted to tell everyone about this Tuesday night, one night of Queen at the Fox Tucson Theater. I've never seen them, but they sound amazing, and they just recreate all of Queen's hits. And the singer, Gary Mullen, he looks and actually really acts like
Freddie
Mercury.
Mercury?
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
This is Tuesday night?
Yes, Tuesday night at Fox Tucson Theater.
All right.
You can make Tuesday a part of your weekend. You just got to try.
You just got
to put some effort into it. Yeah.
Kind of stretch it out. And can I plug an event tomorrow that I'm doing?
Yes.
Always.
Is this your remote?
Yes.
Yes.
Are there steaks involved?
Yes, there are. Yep. I'm going to be slinging some meat from the back of a frozen truck. 20 ribeyes for $40 tomorrow. Will be at the North Mall Center at Stone and River from noon to 2.
So how many times are you doing this whole
I don't
steak
know.
thing?
This was like last minute. I guess they were really happy with what we did last weekend, so they invited us back. I'm so glad that they asked me back.
Wow.
It's because on this show she's always talking about how chicken and burgers are her favorite thing, and they heard it. It's like, well, we got to get her on this, meat situation we got in this truck.
Yes, and it's going to be cold. It's going to be rainy tomorrow, but come on by and you'll save some money on some meat.
All right. Well, have fun with the steaks and the weekend cricket, and tell the folks how to get there safely.
All right. From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Slowdowns at Ajo and Mission. Also busy traffic 22nd Street at I-10, Grant, and also Speedway at I-10 and the westbound side of I-10 approaching. Ruth Roth for slowing. Collisions reported Mission south of Star Pass, Country Club and Speedway, Oracle and Suffolk, 22nd and Columbus, and also Campbell and Limberlost with some slowing on Campbell at Limberlost. And for your weather, chilly and rain. 40-hour overnight low, rain starting probably around 4 a.m. this morning or overnight tonight. Through tomorrow, the high tomorrow only 40. So enjoy the 54 temps right now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. It's cold.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com.
With over 100 online casino-style games, Chumba Casino is your go-to destination for nonstop entertainment. Play for fun and play for free at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Did you miss the big game? We got you covered.
Got a man wide open to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Arizona. Nobody close to Tetaroa McMillan.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
The American Red Cross is facing an emergency blood shortage. More donors are urgently needed now to ensure blood is ready at a moment's notice. Make an appointment today to give. Use the Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule your donation.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic offers military discounts to retired and disabled veterans. And they now accept patients with excess insurance. For more information and to find the location nearest you, visit firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Wildcat fans, join head coach Adia Barnes and the Arizona women's basketball team in McHale Center this season. Single game tickets start as low as $17 and are available for purchase now. You won't want to miss the fierce competition coming to Arizona. Tickets are available at ArizonaWildcats.com/WBK. Arizona women's basketball. Let's pack McHale Center.
I don't think people understand how much cool air escapes into their walls and attic.
Or how much extra that costs you every month.
If only there was a way to explain how Alaskan AC keeps that from happening. It's kind of like that.
Did you seriously just AeroSeal Gary's mouth?
Notice how almost no air is getting through?
True.
You're right, Gary. Only Alaskan AC includes AeroSeal with every AC system we sell. It keeps the cool in your home, not in your walls and attic.
He said all that? What'd he say now?
You're probably paying 20 to 50% more than you have to. You'll see savings from your new AeroSeal included systems the very first year.
I had no idea Gary knew so much about AeroSeal.
It's a big part of how we customize heating and air systems so people are comfortable in every room.
I gotta hand it to you, Gary. You know how to make a good point.
A regular pro at this.
Oh, that's right.
Forgot the most important part.
AeroSeal, included with every system at Alaskan AC.
Attention basketball fans, Wildcats Radio 1290 and Coors Light want to send you to the men's basketball tournament in Las Vegas. We're hooking you up with 2 all-session passes for the tournament, plus $1,000 to cover travel plans, a few nights in a Vegas hotel, and maybe a little extra to spend however you want. If you want to win, check out WildcatsRadio1290.com and sign up. Get all the details and official contest rules at WildcatsRadio1290.com. Good luck from Coors Light and Wildcats Radio 1290.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is everywhere. Wildcats fans can listen to us everywhere on our all-new app. Now available from the Google Play Store and the App Store for iPhone users. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, earlier on CBS Sports Radio, Tucson's own NFL son, one of our NFL sons, we have quite a few of them, Blake Martinez, Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles, who's going to be in the Super Bowl playing this weekend, Matt Bushman, who will be on the other sideline with the Kansas City Chiefs, Bijan Robinson, his rookie season with the Atlanta Falcons after he was the 7th overall pick in the first round of the draft in April, had a chance to sit down in Las Vegas and chat with Zach Gelb about his first season and what it's like to finally get to the National Football League and apparently what it's like to deal with people that don't like the University of Texas.
Bijan Robinson joins us on behalf of C4 Energy. Bijan, first off, it's a pleasure to meet you and see you in person. Thanks so much for doing this.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a pleasure to be here. This is fun to get to experience all this stuff, man, and just get here and just be able to get talk to you.
Well, by the way, so Bijan, I'll peel back the curtain a little bit. I don't know if Bijan wants me to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah. He sits down and he goes, I got to go to the bathroom. But that was 2 minutes until we were coming on back from break.
That's right.
And you still got here before the start of the interview.
That's right.
The restroom is about what? 60, 65 feet?
Yeah, 65
I
feet.
would say. Now, we know you're damn quick, but, what, did you just cut everyone off in the bathroom line?
No, I mean, there was an empty stall, and I was like, I gotta get it real quick. But I used it real quick, and I was like, I gotta get back. So
did you wash your hands?
I washed my hands.
Wow.
We got it all in.
Man, that's elite speed.
Yes, sir.
Not that you really need any help at the combine or anything, but you should have just had people just see how far you run to the bathroom and back and in that efficient time.
That's right.
So my friends, they clown me in my fantasy football league because I picked you with the 5th or 6th overall pick. I was expecting this to be one of the greatest rookie seasons ever by a running back that we were going to see, and the Falcons would just hand you the football, hand you the football, hand you the football.
That's it.
My boss even over there, David Mayernick, he looked at me and he goes, well, wait until I give you the comment. When I said on the air, I said, I'm going Bijan Robinson over Tyreek Hill. He goes, you did what? You took Bijan over Tyreek? I said, yeah, it didn't work out for me in fantasy this year.
Okay. It's okay.
But I'm going to believe in next year for you.
That's it. That's all you can do.
Here's what annoyed me. I'm a logic guy.
Yeah.
You, Algier, should have got the football more. Nothing against Desmond Ridder.
No doubt.
But Desmond Ridder at his best is probably a game manager. I think that you had Arthur Smith try to make him a franchise quarterback this year, and they forgot what really was going to make you guys a good football team.
Winning team, yeah, man. I mean, for us, it was definitely a learning experience because with Coach Smith, he had a plan to run the football and do a lot of different things, but at the same time, he had to get Desmond comfortable and had to get him going throughout the season. And for us, obviously we want the ball every single time, but we understood that there was a plan behind it, and as a rookie, they had a plan to kind of not just throw me out there in 30 carry games all the time. Obviously that would be awesome, but for me it was more of a development process that they were trying to do for me and teach me as much as they can.
But hold on, that doesn't make any sense. you're an NFL-ready player. All we hear about running backs is the career is so short, the life span is so short of a running back. Why would they make you wait?
Yeah, I mean that was the plan, man. And for me, like as a player, like obviously when you're ready to go, you're ready to go. But I mean, I know there was a lot of mouths to feed, and we had 3 running backs, and it's that's what we had to look for and try to get all of us like the right amount of touches and carries. But that was Coach Smith's plan, man, and obviously I love him as a person. Like we done some great things in the offseason of communicating and him trying to get me ready, but I know sometimes we want to win. We want to win these games, man, and we can't really think about the other things besides that.
Bijan Robinson joining us. I know the contact this time of the year is so bizarre. So you have a new coach. Everyone expects you to be a Raheem Morris expert. I know he's been with the organization before, but you just wrapped up your rookie year, and he wasn't there.
That's right.
So what was the initial impression? Because it felt like it was going to be Belichick, right? That's what everyone was saying.
That's what everybody was saying.
And then it ends up being Raheem Morris.
Yeah, man. I mean, Raheem is right when he got the job. Like 15 minutes later, he called me. He FaceTimed me.
Oh, really?
And I mean, when he answered, he was like, "Hey, B, like, let's get this thing rolling." And right when he said that, like, something in me, like my heart was just like, "Oh, this is the guy. Like, this is the guy that's gonna, get this team together." And he already has a great amount of talent on the team, and I feel like we needed him to construct this whole football team and to bring that energy and to bring that liveliness that I feel like we kind of been missing. This past year, but with him, you can tell like off the bat, he's ready to have fun, to do it the right way, to bring in that young vibe of culture, and nothing against Bill Belichick. Like I feel like he's the greatest coach of all time, but I feel like that's not what we needed for this team, right now, just because of the young talent on the team that we're trying to do some great things with Raheem and what he's going to bring for this team.
When you say that, you're saying you just thought the group needed a younger coach?
Yeah, just a younger, more lively, like type of guy that we can, obviously, we'll want to play for Bill, and I respect his style of how he coaches, but I feel like just in today's game, what Raheem brings is kind of what the vibe. It's kind of what the vibe is that we want in the building.
Wrap it up with Bijan Robinson. We'll talk about C4 in just a bit. No disrespect to Desmond Ridder. No disrespect to Taylor Heineke. I call him Taylor Ham Heineke. Like I love Taylor Heineke. You guys need a starting quarterback though.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins going to be available. I know he's coming off the injury.
No doubt.
I think that's a good fit for your organization with the pieces you have on offense. What do you think about that?
Yeah, man. I mean, whether it's him, man, or been hearing Russell Wilson, like, I feel that those guys are obviously very experienced, and they know how to manage the game. They know how to play some ball, like have fun doing it too. And I think that with this new offense with Zach Robinson, he's been having Matthew Stafford for the times that he's been there, and he's obviously done an amazing job. So I think if we get like a Kirk Cousins or somebody at quarterback, then he's gonna make them feel extremely comfortable from day one, and he has. I mean, the quarterback has guys around him that, will have his back and that will, fight and play, their hearts out and have a lot of talent around them. So I think it's going to be a good fit with whoever we have. But I'm excited to see it in these next, couple weeks or a month or so.
Let's just say I'm Terry Fontenot and I call you up and I go, Bijan, you want Kirk or you want Russ? What do you say?
That's not my place. I'm going to say whoever best fit for this offense. But I know Terry's going to make the right decision, though.
I saw Kyle Pitts the other day.
Yeah.
Has he just not been used properly? Because I look at him and I'm like, I remember what he did at Florida. This dude should be a dog on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I think even with Kyle, like, obviously he had to overcome some injuries, man, and even this past season he was just getting over an injury. But I know when you have a guy like that, and that should be an absolute freaking nature at the tight end position. I think that was another thing that was important because he hasn't been having the seasons that I know that he wants. But I know that this year, with what we have now, I think he can be an amazing talent, and he can, take over the league at the tight end position.
And something I thought was underrated about your team, and full disclosure, Bijan Robinson's here with us. I picked you guys to win the NFC South before the season started. Yeah. The defense, though, and I know Ryan is going to Jacksonville.
I know.
That defense performed better than whatever I could have imagined the jump they made.
Yeah, man.
And that young secondary, and Bates was a big signing, too.
Yeah,
He's a phenomenal football player. You guys, you're a quarterback away. I really feel that you are a quarterback away from being a very good football team in this league, especially in the NFC.
Yeah, man, because even the games that we lost, we only lost. The games that we lost by either 3 points or less. And it was all in the last second of the game. And I mean, it was frustrating, obviously, because I know that we could have had the 12 to 14, the 13-win season off of just little mistakes through the game. Obviously, the defense performed exceptional, and I respect those guys so much because they kept us in every single game when we were not doing what we're supposed to do on the offensive side, but. I think that, when we have that complete offense, like you just said, and then with the defense that we have, I mean, the sky's the limit. It could be the best Atlanta's ever seen. So that's definitely a prayer of mine that we're about to get it going. But we all feel it in the building and in the city too.
I need you to enlighten me on your alma mater, or where you played your college ball. Hold on. We'll get there in a second because you Texas fans are a little sensitive. I know you played for them. I'm not a Texas hater whatsoever.
It's all good.
But Rodney Terry, the basketball coach, he got so sensitive over the horns down.
That's right.
So yesterday I see Brian Jones walking around here, and Brian used to work here at CBS Sports Radio, and I knew this would annoy him. He just jumped on set. I go, horns down. Yeah. And he punched me right in the chest.
Yeah.
Well, why are you guys so sensitive with the horns down thing?
We just have pride in our school, man. And I mean, horns down, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look.
Do you actually, when someone goes like this, your eyes just lit up. You actually get disrespected by it.
It's like, why did you have to do that? You could have done anything else but that,
So you rather have someone give you the middle finger than horns down?
I would love that, or like a thumbs down or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, horns, but it's just the horns down. It's just it's obviously the sign of disrespect for Texas.
Yeah.
And I mean, we got to look at it all the time. Everybody, if you're not a Longhorn fan, you're gonna just go horns down to my face, and I'm like, all right, well, a high would have been all right too.
Yeah. How you doing? Nice to see you.
How you doing? How's your day going? No, horns down. And it's just all right, well, I guess that's what we're trying to do now. But yeah, it's definitely a big sign of disrespect. But I mean, if it affects you too much, then you'll take it into another category. So,
how many running backs do you think right now are in the league that you think are better running backs than you? Just wondering.
Humbly, I don't think any of them are better than me.
Even McCaffrey.
I love Christian. As a matter of fact, I'll say Christian. Because for me, I think the talent level is obviously awesome throughout the running back position. And Christian, right now he's in a situation where, I mean, they do everything with him the right way. And I respect it so much because he's honestly my favorite running back to watch, especially this year. And even talking to him, that's my dog right there. And he's helped me out so much with my body work and with everything else. But,
But that's what you could be for the what he is to the 49ers,
absolutely.
You could be that for the Falcons where, no disrespect to Brock Purdy, but when I think of the MVP of the 49ers, I think of McCaffrey. When I think of who needs to be the MVP for the Atlanta Falcons, it's you.
And I appreciate that. And just how he's using that offense and for that team, I believe I can, obviously try to do the same thing for the Falcons. But I'm always going to say I don't think nobody's more talented because I'm obviously trying to lead the pack.
You should have that confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think there's a lot of just amazing running backs in this league, and Christian's definitely the one that I would say is definitely leading the charge right now in front of all of us.
Tell me what you got cooking today with C4.
Yes, sir. So first of all, this is my favorite drink. I don't know if you can see. This is the one right here. It's the Performance Energy, and I think with C4, man, I think it's definitely a very good energy drink, not just for athletes, obviously, but just for everybody, every working day people like that need to pick me up and that need something to boost them out. And I feel that it's not smart to drink energy drinks before working out at a gym or anything. But I think with C4, it's actually pretty good for you to, you know, get your blood vessels going, get your muscles going, get your heart pumping for whatever exercise you need. So C4 is definitely the brand to go to, especially now in today's age. And I mean, it tastes good. Like, energy drinks to me sometimes taste a little funny, but C4 always consistently tastes good. And there's so many different flavors to, you know, endeavor and try to see if you like it or not.
You actually wash your hands?
I actually wash my hands.
Oh, okay. Well, nice to meet you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much. He is Bijan Robinson.
Yep.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Bijan Robinson on the CBS Sports Radio Network earlier
So
today.
much banter there on Radio Row.
There is. It's a very interesting place to say the least. Bijan, I like the fact that he was like, when he asked him, which quarterback do you want? Bijan's like, it's not my place.
Right.
Not my place.
Right. I'm a first-year guy. Give me a couple of years before
That's
I start
right.
demanding which quarterbacks I want to play with.
That's right. Well, it's interesting. Like they were talking about, you know, the fact that, you know, running backs only have a few years and they didn't really give him the rock. I mean, I think that's actually, you know, the fact that he didn't necessarily, they didn't grind him out this year. I think that's actually good for his career because, you know, the more years you can stay on an NFL roster, obviously, the more money you're going to make. I mean, I was talking about that with somebody about my father the other day. My father played 10 years in the National Football League, but he really only actually played 8 because the first 2 years he was behind a guy named Jim Brown, and he really didn't carry the rock that much. But, you know, the fact that he was able to be on a roster for 10 years, the longevity is much more it's much more beneficial for you monetarily than if they stick you right in and maybe you're done and out in 6 years because they ran you a lot.
I know a couple of things about Mr. Brown, and one of them is that he was very durable. And number 2 is when he did get knocked hard, especially on the opponent's sidelines, he would get up extra slow.
Oh yeah,
and then get right back in the game and pound the rock.
Yeah, he wanted to make you think that you had him beat.
Exactly.
And then on the next play, he would run your butt over.
Psychological warfare.
Psychological warfare, indeed. All right, getting you home every 20 minutes on the Fives. Final segment of the show coming up. But first, here's cricket.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Reported collisions on the eastbound side of I-10 near Rita Road, Country Club and Speedway, Mission to the south of Star Pass, Oracle and Suffolk, 22nd Street and Columbus, also still clearing Campbell and Limberlost and Campbell. And expect backups, Ajo and Mission, also slowdowns on Grant Road and on Speedway and 22nd Street at I-10. And weather-wise, we're going to see 40 as our overnight low. Rain starting around 4 a.m. and raining through tomorrow. The high tomorrow only 40. 54 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Big O Tires. Right now at Big O Tires, get up to $160 in rebate savings on 4 select in-stock Michelin tires with installation purchase. See store for details. Offer ends February 19th. So hurry in to Big O Tires, the team you trust.
At Blue Moon, we craft our beer with Valencia orange peel and coriander for a brighter flavor that's one of a kind every time. So we decided to craft a one-of-a-kind radio ad using just those ingredients. Orange peel, coriander, 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 orange peel, orange peel, orange peel, orange peel, orange peel. Okay, you know what? Maybe we should just stick to crafting one-of-a-kind beers. Blue Moon, one of a kind, every time. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Co., Golden, Colorado.
Get the backyard you've always wanted with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you're ready to dive in, then visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Schedule now and get 3 months of full service free. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. First Choice Pools, the first and only choice.
Hey, it's David Kelly. Do you know the radio is not the only place to find Wildcats Radio 1290? You can stream us by downloading our 1290 app.
A deep three is good, and the Cats are on top.
We're also available on the iHeartMedia and Odyssey apps, or head to our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Touchdown, Cats.
or even on Alexa. Just ask her to put on Wildcats Radio 1290 so you never miss any of Southern Arizona's most important and in-depth conversation.
Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply at lifemd.com. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid C-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
If you've struggled for years to lose weight and have given up hope, did you know you can now access GLP-1 prescription medications through LifeMD? LifeMD is now offering eligible patients online access to GLP-1s, the breakthrough prescription medication that can help you lose body fat and weight. Listen to what people are saying.
It's fun to put on jeans that you couldn't get into 6 months ago.
Every morning, I look forward to getting on the scale.
For anybody who's struggling with their weight, it's a godsend.
And here's the best part. Your insurance may cover 100% of the cost of your medication. So go to TryLifeMD.com to have your eligibility checked right now. Get started today at TryLifeMD.com. That's TryLifeMD.com.
Welcome to Love Those Savings, brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Let's meet our contestants. Contestant number 1 is Equinox. Contestant 2 is Silverado. And our newest contestant number 3, he's T-Railblazer.
They're all so good looking and affordable. I can't believe I can only take one of them home.
Check us out at O'Reilly.com. Call us at 747-8000 or love those savings in person on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Find new roads at O'Reilly Chevrolet.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Well, it's the first part of a new year, and some people are coming up with some pretty interesting New Year's resolutions.
I'm taking karate classes.
Hey, wait just a minute.
Let's get something really stupid tattooed on our butt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why not make your New Year's resolution to always save up to 40% on your favorite tobacco products at Tobacco Barn? You'll not only save up to 40%, but there's also no city or state sales tax at Tobacco Barn because they're on the reservation.
I'm getting married to the first girl I meet. Hey there, sweetheart.
And you can save up to another $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Let's try parachuting. Geronimo!
So save up to 40%, save with no city or state sales tax, and save up to another $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. But maybe skip the skydiving. Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Final chance for you to get in on today's show. It is Arizona women's basketball tonight. Tip-off is just after 9 o'clock tonight from Poly Pavilion in Westwood, Los Angeles. Derek Palmer will begin our coverage at around 8:45 this evening as the ladies hit the road to take on the 9th-ranked team in the country, the UCLA Bruins. It's not going to be an easy task this weekend. The Wildcats begin play this weekend in 8th place. They are 4-6. They're tied with Washington State at 4-6. Top of the standings look like this: Stanford and Colorado each at 9-2. Oregon State 7-3. Utah 7-4. The LA schools at 6-4. So they'll be looking to move to 8-4 and create some space between them and the lower 6 in the Pac-12 conference. Washington, California, Oregon, and Arizona State rounding out the Pac-12 conference standings on the women's side. One of the players who is going to have to step up big once again for the Arizona Wildcats is Courtney Blakely. We've seen a lot of her of recent since the injury to Kaylin Gilbert. Don't know if Kaylin Gilbert got on the plane tonight, or got on the plane yesterday, I should say. She did make the trip, apparently, to Los Angeles, so that's good. We do not know, however, if she is going to play, but she did make the trip with the team to Los Angeles, so at least that's a positive. There was some thought maybe she could be back this week, depending on the level of practice she was able to go through. Adia talked about that earlier this week, a number of levels of live contact that you got to go through before you're able to be cleared and be able to come back. But since she's been out, Courtney Blakely has played 26, 32, and 27 minutes in the last 3 games off the bench for the Arizona Wildcats, the transfer from Middle Tennessee State. And she scored 7 against California, a career-high 24 points against the Stanford Cardinal, and then 10 points against Arizona State, including 8 in the second quarter, as she helped the Wildcats kind of get out to that early lead in that ball game. Head coach Adia Barnes talking about what she would like to see from Courtney Blakely, the next thing in her step process for this Arizona women's basketball team, being a little bit more aggressive to the basket.
I don't remember her missing like a lot of stuff around the rim. I think she missed one. But she's driving. She's picking the right times. I think she's learning when to do it and when not. I think sometimes you would see her drive deep, then she pulls it back out. So that's a learning thing. I think she's doing a better job of running the team. I think she's giving us really, really good minutes, and she's been a huge spark. So I wouldn't change anything she's doing now. I think she's confident. I think she's ready, and I think she's doing her job. And I think she can even do more. And I expect her to do more, but she's helping us a lot.
She's having her best shooting from three-point of her career.
Yeah, which is great.
And she seems to be doing better as the season's gone on. What have you seen different from outside from her, from start to now?
I think one of the biggest difference, I think I had a good talk with her, and then just kind of just gave her my perspective. And I think that sometimes helps, just the communication, I think, and telling someone you believe in them. And then I think after that, Kaylin was out. So we talked about the 7 players and the opportunity. I think she knew she was going to get an opportunity, but that's sometimes players put pressure on themselves. She rose up to the occasion, and she got minutes, and she produced really well. So I think after that, I think I really saw a different Courtney, because now she's more confident, and that's how every player is. Every player, when you have some success, you do well. I think you're just more ready, and she, I think, is just confident from the 3. We've worked a lot. We work a ton on skills, so I'm hoping that carries over and continues to show. But she's getting better. She's much better than she was when she first got here. She had a couple times in the games where, bad turnovers, or someone's calling her name. By the time you look at her and pass, it's always, so it wasn't all her fault. But I think when she first came, she did that a lot. You don't see her do that as much now, so she's getting better with the ball and valuing each possession. And I think she's doing well. But I think it takes that one game for you to kind of get over the hump and realize you can do it. And she did it against a really good team. And so I think that helps with confidence, which we need everybody to be confident because of just having 7 players.
Well, in that one game, she got over the hump and did it again, as we mentioned, against the Stanford Cardinal, who are also one of the highly ranked teams. They are ranked 6th and sitting on top of the
When was the last time
conference.
They weren't?
Last time they
were not a highly ranked team.
Stanford.
It feels like Stanford has been the most consistent of Stanford women's basketball programs, most consistent I can think of in my time following college athletics. They've always been good.
Well, and you think about it, I mean, they're the one team that has been able to sustain success. There's a lot of teams. You look at, USC is back up there again, but for a number of years, USC was down. I think UCLA's kind of been able to sustain some success under Corey Close. Washington was the best team in the conference for a number of years when Adia was there and Kelsey Plum was there. But then they fell all the way to the bottom as soon as, that whole group got up out of there and moved on. Oregon has been very good at times with Sabrina Ionescu, but now they're chiseled to last place in the Pac-12 conference. It just goes to show you just kind of, especially on the women's side, how difficult it can be sometimes to sustain that success. California was good for a number of years when Lindsey Gottlieb was the coach there. Now Lindsey Gottlieb is the coach at USC, and she's built that program back up. Arizona State, under Charlie Turner-Thorne, was in the middle to the top side, and now they're at the bottom. So it's very tough. I mean, Colorado was at the bottom. We talked, with Ariana Prather when she was here. That was a program that was kind of towards the bottom, but now J.R. Payne's got them at the top. Oregon State has been, I think, maybe another team that's kind of been consistently in that top 6 over the course of the last 10 years. And Utah is, I think, a newer program the last few years on the women's side that has been able to sneak into the top 25 consistently. So it's tough. I think it's a lot tougher to sustain that success sometimes on the women's side if your name is not Stanford. as you just mentioned. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. Final stages of our program here today. We've got the Waste Management Open going on up in Phoenix this weekend. That is always cohesive with Super Bowl and a huge event. I'm sure they were racing, although the weather was horrible yesterday. A little bit better weather today. I think they were almost 3 hours behind on play yesterday up in Phoenix for the Waste Management Open. So hopefully things got back on track today, and there was some fun to be had at the 16th hole. Did you see the video that was out earlier? I think it came out late last week of Tiger Woods when he hit the hole-in-one at the 16th hole. He very rarely, I was shocked when I saw that because he very rarely played in that tournament.
Well, he didn't come after that.
In Phoenix.
Yeah, no, I went to that tournament the next year or the year after. I mean, maybe 2 years after that. A buddy of mine, Craig Jones, he has a friend who had worked at that course, and we got on a golf course and got thrown in. We didn't have to stay in line or anything. It was amazing. But I remember that that was such and still is a spectacle on that hole, right? And in my memory, there was something about it was too much because that was at the height, obviously, of Tiger Woodsdom. And I remember that hole-in-one clearly. I remember the roar of the, 6,000 people that sit around those grandstands. And I don't remember him coming. He might have gone back the next year after that, but then I don't think he went back after.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it was not a tournament that was a regular one on his schedule. But, man, like you said, I don't know how many times he totally played it, but the one or two times he did, to be able to do that in that setting, one of the greatest holes in the history of golf from that standpoint, from the fandom standpoint, for him to walk up to that pin and hit a hole-in-one on that par three, it just speaks to the skill level that he had when he was at the height of his career. And I think just looking, I don't remember what year it was. I didn't look up what the year was on that, but it looked like he was still relatively young on the young side of his career.
97.
Yeah, so he was probably only a few years in at that point when he did that. Just speaks to that level. And I've said for a long time, and I think this is kind of, and we'll get into this golf talk a little bit more as it relates to the continuing battle between the PGA and LIV and where we're going with that. And I've said forever that I think that every golf tournament should have a hole like that. You should have a par 3 stadium hole at every golf tournament on the tour where fans can just come and party and be loud and yell. And I think it would be great for the game of golf. I mean, essentially, Phoenix is the only one that does that.
Yeah.
And I think it would be crazy. I mean, if I was starting a golf tournament, I would absolutely do something like that at my golf tournament.
After Happy Gilmore came out, there was this rock and roll element to that, and that was not too long after. I do have the dates, and I have the reasoning as well. He didn't play after 2000 until 2014, so he skipped 14 years.
Yeah.
2 reasons. Number 1, Torrey Pines, that's his local course, right? And that was the event coincided. But number 2, it was a safety issue. As I remembered, there was something safety involved, but apparently a heckler had a handgun, and that was in 1999, and that was obviously at the height of Tiger Woods' fame, and so that was one of the reasons why he didn't play there for 14 years.
Wow, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. But yeah, I would. We'll throw that out there. That I've always, in terms of the having a stadium hole on every single course. I call it the Cologuard Classic, which for the last few years has been at the Omni and is moving over to La Paloma this year. They have a similar par 3 that's got grandstands built around it, and it was the 16th hole here as well for a number of years. I don't know if it's what the makeup is going to be in terms of the La Paloma. I'll see if we can reach out and kind of find out exactly how that setup is going to be. But it's not quite as crazy as what you get in Phoenix. But still, it's still a good, fun hole on the Champions Tour, which is obviously a little bit more relaxed. Guys come in and they are going back and forth with the fans in that type of environment. But absolutely, I would put a par 3 stadium hole on every single element of the tour. And I think, again, that gives you that more of that feel that we've seen at some of these live golf tournaments, where it's all about, the party and the relaxed atmosphere. It's not so buttoned up and tight and stuffy as people have come to golf to be known. It's a little bit more laid back and fan friendly. And I think if you did that at a lot more tournaments, you would grow the game exponentially across the United States and across the world.
Yeah, it's great excitement.
Yeah.
I mean, short par 3, anything could happen.
Yeah.
It's like that. Saturday up there, you'll also see the spectacle of a lot of high heels is the tradition as well.
Yeah?
Yep, that's tradition.
Nothing wrong with high heels.
No.
I like high heels. I don't wear them.
But on a golf course, it's a little awkward. I saw a lot of that when I went up there as well.
I don't wear them, but I like them. All right, that's going to wrap up our show for today. We're back, though, with you tomorrow, the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off show. That will be at 4 o'clock for Arizona basketball against Colorado. The Buffaloes have won 13 in a row at home this season. Best home start since 1968-69. That was a few years before this song came out. Thanks to J-Dub. Thanks to Cricket. Most of all, thanks to you for listening. Thanks to Roxy for joining us as well. We'll talk to you Saturday, Bear Down, Arizona. Have a great weekend.
Come on, Cavs. Gotta make it happen. Come on, Cavs. Gotta make it happen.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collision occurred from the westbound side of I-10 near Rita Road. There are some slowdowns for both directions of traffic on I-10 near Rita Road. Also clearing Tucson Boulevard and 22nd Street. A hit and run occurred at Ina and La Cholla. 40, our overnight low tonight. Rain probably starting around 4 this morning and continuing through the day tomorrow. The high tomorrow, 40. 53 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report.